evening, everybody, and welcome to this special event being held this evening between F1 Tonight and Simulation Formula One. And we are here at the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir. And joining me in the commentary box is Dan Hazzah Burt. Good evening, Dan.
Huzzah! Good evening, Eddie. It's good to be back with you, sir. How are you doing?
Not too bad, sir. Not too bad. Certainly looking forward to this event. A much anticipated event, I think, between both leagues, it's safe to say.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been in the making for a good while now, and I think we've all been very excited for this one for a long while.
So let's have a look at the runners and riders. So let's have a look at the SF1 lineup first. For Ferrari, we have SF1 Tom. His teammate is going to be Verstappen RB333. Next team is Haas, and the driver is Eek, I presume. I don't know what it's Eek or Eke, but he's going to be Eek now, so no one's told me any different. Eek double O. He's going to be in his Haas, and his teammate this evening is going to be SF1 Evil. Dr. Evil is in town. So there's our Haas drivers. Then we have in the Mercedes, Becker 313. His teammate is going to be a whiffy winner. Let's hope he isn't that bad. But then again, we haven't got smell-o-vision, so should be all right. Then we have Brooder Goat in the McLaren. And his SF1 teammate is going to be Harrison 161995. I think we should refer to him just as Harrison. What do you think, Dan?
That sounds good.
Yeah,
I agree. Harrison sounds good.
Sounds good to me. Makes it a lot easier. And then our final team is Alfa Romeo, and we have RRL Addict, and his teammate is going to be Ulster Stig 83. So that is the lineup for SF1, and quite some competitive drivers there, certainly going top to bottom. Watch out for Verstappen RB33, Becker 313, Brooder Goat, Harrison, and Ulster Stig. They're, I would suspect, probably the top guys in those 10 at the moment for SF1, not taking anything away from the other guys as well. Obviously, all equally competent drivers, but they're going to be the ones to watch. Let's have a look now at the F1 Tonight lineup. So, Ryan Leah is going to be in the Racing Point. His teammate is going to be Damie Hartman. Ryan Leah races for FOT UK, Damie Hartman for Netherlands, and that's how it's going to run as we go through this. Excuse me. Then we have Baz Dembrain in the Toro Rosso. He's from NL. Then his teammate's going to be Sean Street from UK. Then in the Red Bull, we have Hans van der Berg in the Red Bull for NL. And for UK, we have Dylan Platt. That's Season 1 winner, Dylan Platt. So keep a sharp lookout for him. Then we have the Renaults and Nicky Visser, who is F1 Tonight Season 6 Netherlands champion. He's going to be in the Renault. His teammate is going to be Ross Milburn from UK. And then the final team, we have Williams, Rocket Williams, Phil Harris in his normal Williams, in his normal 21 car. And he's going to be there, and his teammate is going to be Zander Hermans, also familiar with the Williams as he races in the Williams for NL. Obviously, we're very familiar with the UK and the NL FOT guys. Not so familiar with the SF1 guys. I mean, watch a couple of their races, and it's going to be very interesting because there's some very competitive drivers, certainly in SF1, as there are in FOT as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Some really strong pairings across both teams here, if you like. Like you say, I particularly know the F1 Tonight, F1 Tonight Netherlands and UK guys, particularly a lot better than the SF1 guys. But no, a couple of the SF1 drivers, and there are some really strong ones in there. But particularly some of the teams sort of on, I guess you could say, our side of the field, if you like. I mean, Nicky Visser and Ross Milburn in particular, and Hans Vanderberg, Dylan Platt, some very strong team pairings there.
Yeah. It's certainly going to be an interesting race. Let's now have a look at the actual circuit itself. So the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir, as I said. Its circuit length is just under 5.5 kilometres, 3.36 miles. The total race length is 308 kilometres or 191.5 miles. And we are looking at a full race of 57 laps. SF1 guys, I don't believe do full races, they're half races, so it's going to be interesting to see how they hold up. As you can see, 15 corners, 3 sectors. Sector 1 takes us from the start finish. Where are we? Yep, takes us to just before turn 5. Sector 2 then from turn 5 takes us around to just before turn 13, and the final sector is from there just before turn 13 going to the start finish line. 3 DRS points. The first detection point is just as you're coming to the end of the start finish straight into turn 1. That activates on the exit of turn 3 and takes us up to turn 4. The second DRS detection point is just before turn 9. That activates after turn 10 and leading down to turn 11. And the third DRS detection point is just before turn 14. And that activates on the start-finish straight out of 15 over the start-finish line down into turn 1. Technically, an interesting track. It's got quite a lot of elements in there, hasn't it? I think, and something that I find very reminiscent of the Americas circuit of the Americas is turns 9 and 10. As you're coming into that sort of sharp sort of hairpin of 10 coming round 9. Very, very similar to the circuit of the Americas in that final sector as well, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you touched on. It's got a lot of elements to it, and yeah, I completely agree. It's almost like there's 3, very different sectors in the way you attack them. Sector 2 being very windy, quite intense on the downforce required. Sector 1's a nice mix of both, but Sector 3 is almost just a flat out, giving it all you can kind of sectors. There's a lot of elements to it.
There certainly are. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hand over to Adrian, and he's going to run through the setup for this evening and how the points are awarded while I get ready to cash in on the stream and get the guys in free practice 1. So welcome, Adrian. You're sitting in the background very quietly, but you are with us, and we'll call upon you during the race, I'm sure. But welcome. Great to hear you. And can you run through the event for tonight, please, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, thank you for the brilliant introduction, or non-existent. No worries. So yeah, as the description says, it's a 10v10 race. So we've got SF1 on one side and F1 tonight, UK and Netherlands pairing up on the other. The point system is very different to what it is in a regular race. So every position will be scoring points from first right down to 20th. The only way you can't score or won't score points is if you don't finish the race. So yeah, that sort of puts the onus on the drivers to not give up. Even if they've crashed or suffered damage, etc., etc. As long as you beat one driver of the other team, then that will be a success. So the points simply run from 20 down to 1 from first to 20th. There are also 2 points given to the driver who qualifies on pole position, and 1 point given to the driver with the fastest lap. So yeah, there's plenty to play for in this race.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way, Adrian. And apologies if my intro for you was somewhat below par. I did try my best. I did bring you in, but if you're going to complain about it, I suggest you report it to the management, you cheeky sod.
I think you set the bar so high in the previous streams. Yeah. It's disheartening when it's not.
Oh, did you want the big intro like Dan? Is that what it was?
Magnificent, the mighty Adrian.
Nonetheless, Eddie, it's good to hear your voice in a live stream as well. I know many the drivers in F1 tonight have missed your dulcet tones, so welcome back.
I don't know about dulcet, but certainly tones, let's put it like that. Okay, so here we are now. We are in the Q1 session. 20 drivers will be going down to 15. At this moment in the drop zone is Bastien Brain. He's not out of the pits yet. SF1 Tom, he's not out of the pits yet. Ulster Stig is out on track at this moment in time. Expect a good lap for him in that Alfa Romeo. And Harrison, he's in the pits as well, and is... I've got to figure out how you say it. Is it Eke double O? Eke double O? I really don't know.
I think it's Eke.
Eke, okay, Eke double O. So, Eke double O also in the pits. Phil Harris has set the provisional fastest lap with, well, a very nice 127.854. RRL Addict for SF1 has set a 128.184. So 3/10 effectively off the back of Phil Harris. Brooder Goat, he's currently 3, as we watch Ulster Stig spinning out there. And that was in sector 2, yeah, just coming down around a 5, I think, down towards 6. And again, Dan, that's that sort of little sector there, quite familiar of the French Grand Prix as you're coming down there, around there.
Yeah, and like we see with Ulster Stig there, it's very easy to lose the back end of round 2. So we'll be watching out for that, I think, throughout qualifying and indeed during the race too.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting to see how that pans out. So we've got just under 6 minutes remaining, and Adrian, might as well call on you now. Anything interesting that you're picking up on the stats as yet, or anything that you've got going there that you can
see? Nothing standing out at the moment. Drivers to watch though for me anyway are Eke 00, who I rate fairly highly, well, very highly. In fact, I'd say probably one of the best drivers in
just
SF1.
Set a lap of 127.291.
Yeah, he's going to be one to watch for sure. RRL Addict as well, currently in P3. He's remarkably quick. I've seen many of his races, seen quite a few of the SF1 races. And who was the other? And Harrison as well. Not set a time at the moment, still in the pit. But yeah, those for me are the ones I'm going to be keeping my eye on in this race. And then obviously we've got the usual suspects from F1 Tonight with regards to Dylan Platt, F1 Tonight UK champion, and Nicky Visser as well, the Netherlands champion. Again, those are pretty much our favourites.
Oh, yep, again, remember to set my mic. As I always say, anything can happen though, Adrian, can't it? And that is the thing. We can obviously give a good idea or have a good idea who are going to be the performers, but ultimately anything can happen once you're out on that track.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely right there. It's all very well being very quick on paper, but you don't win races on paper, you win it on the black stuff.
Yeah, indeed. I'm actually riding on board at the moment with Phil Harris. He's currently looking to put in a fast lap to regain that top spot in this Q1 position. Eke double O has taken it with a 127.291. Ross Milburn, our MIB, he's 127. They changed the driver tag. I'm looking at the driver tag, I'm thinking, what the hell's all this on there? But now I get it. Okay, so Ross Milburn, 127.7. Phil Harris 127.8, SF1 Tom 128.0, Addict 128.1, Brooder Goat 128.1 as well. I mean, these guys are all so close. 128.3 from Nicky Visser, Whiffy Winner 128.5, Ryan Lee 128.6, SF1 Evil 128.6 as well, Becker 128.7, Danny Hartman 128.7, and he's just dropped. Phil Harris has just gone up to 3 with that 127.854. It looks like, is that right? Somebody's just moved up.
I think
Who was that?
right, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
SF1 Evil, he's in 10, 128.6. Zander Herman's 128.7. Becker 128.7. I mean, they're all pretty tightly grouped in their little sort of areas there. Obviously, top two, very fast indeed. Phil Hasler's at 127.514. Splits, the SF1 guy, takes Ross Milburn's place there with the 127.7 that he had. Still not close to Eke 00. Bit of a way to go on that. Then we've got the guys in the low 128s. That's 4 to 6. Then we've got the mid 128s, and that's, well, what are we looking at? 7 to 9. And these times are really changing now. A lot of drivers putting in some fast laps now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite a big range between P1 at the moment and back at P18. The
I'm
last
just
two
looking at
drivers
2 seconds. Is
but
the
like
gap.
you say, it's between that though into driver times are very, very close. So the actual spread of pace is quite close up and down the grid. It's just a big gap from P1 to P18 at the moment. But
There's a clearly defined sort of 3 groups there, aren't there? Really.
yeah.
The low 128s, the mid 128s, and the sort of mid-high 129s. So very interesting indeed. Baz and Brian still not going out as yet, nor has Harrison, and eagerly anticipating those two guys.
Both out on track.
They are both
on
out.
the outlaps now, yeah, just on the outlaps.
So,
interestingly as well, just having a look at the tyre choices, Dylan Platt changing his normal tactic. He's got one tyre softer
has he?
than his normal Q1 session. He's doing a medium tyre one. You can well know that the F1 Tonight UK team
going on the hard tyre.
doing Q1 on the hard tyre,
Yeah. So Harrison.
I hope that's not a bad omen for Dylan tonight.
1. Baz and Brian. Starting his out lap now, his fast lap now. So we'll go with Harrison, go on board with him. He's coming towards the end of sector 1. There we go, 127.9 into that sector 2. Coming round, and this is the sector, those previous corners, those ones I was saying, very reminiscent to French Grand Prix, and then this reminiscent to the Circuit of the Americas, the US Grand Prix. So yeah, it's a lot of elements in this track, certainly.
It's a first sector actually, only a 10th slower than Eke, so looking like it could be a strong lap, a strong first lap here from Harrison.
Certainly is looking good at this moment in time. And he's done a purple in sector 2, as we can see there indicated on the map.
Indeed, so looking like a very spicy first outlap here for the SF1 driver, Harrison. In the beautiful orange McLaren.
Round the final corner. And he goes up to P3, 127.6. Let's have a look at Den Brian now. Den Brian in the final sector. Coming to that start-finish line. Oh, P5, 127.923 there for Bas Den Brian. So safely into Q2. Remember, it's the bottom 5 that will be dropped. Let's have a look who those are at this moment in time. So Dami Hartman for F1 Tonight in Netherlands, he's in the drop zone. Hans van der Berg, he's in the drop zone. Verstappen RB33, he's in drop zone. Sean Street for F1 Tonight UK, and Ulster Stig for SF1 in the drop zone as well. Looks like they'll be starting there. Ulster Stig, let's go on board with him, although Dami Hartman is out on track as well. He's in sector 2. Sector 3 is Ulster Stig, so let's stay with him, and then we'll flip to Dami Hartman, see what he can do, if he can get himself out of that drop zone in this Q1 session, get into that Q2.
Currently 8 tenths up. Valid.
Oh, he's invalidated it.
Was valid. I think it might have been valid, but he lost a lot of time there at the end. 129.840 I've got on my screen.
Yeah.
That luck.
Dami Hartman crosses the line, does get through, gets in P12 in his Q1 session. He has actually pushed Sander Hermans into the drop zone. So Sander Hermans is in the drop zone. So starting P16 will be Sander Hermans for F1 Tonight NL in the Williams. Hans van der Berg will be starting P17. Verstappen RB33 in a Ferrari for SF1 will be starting P18. Sean Street in the Toro Rosso will be starting in P19, and Ulster Stig in the Alfa Romeo will be starting in P20. Through to Q2 is SF1 Evil, Ryan Lee, Becca 313, Davey Hartman, Whiffy Winner, RRL Addict, SF1 Tom, Dylan Platt, Bruder Goat, Baz Den Brian, Ross Milburn, Nicky Visser, and Nicky got across there, won fourth position, 127.7. Harrison, Phil Harris, and Eke Double O. So, interesting first stint there. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well,
boys?
Yeah, I mean, some surprising sort of lower end of the field finishes, but then I guess it's hard to kind of know where they're going to finish, because we've got 10 drivers from both leagues. Yeah. And you don't really know where the pace is going to be at. Obviously, in the 20 drivers from our own league, you could say the likes of Sean Street and Hans van der Berg, Zander Hermans will be up there. But obviously now we've got a mixture of equally fast drivers probably up and down the grids. It throws your perspective a bit out. So a bit surprised to see some of those guys down the bottom, the likes of Verstappen especially, and also Stig. But yeah, I think we kind of need to change our views a bit for this session.
And the other thing to bear in mind as well, Dan, I guess really, is that this is the first time the F1 Tonight guys have competitively raced against one another.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, besides kind of test sessions where we test new guys for F1 Tonight, other than that, yeah, in an official setting, this is the first time, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Very interesting. Everyone went out on the softs apart from Sean Street and Dylan Platt. No great surprise from Dylan Platt. Sean Street, obviously, again, I suppose it made sense for him. He's obviously looking to run with that. That would suggest to me, looking at those two guys, that they will be looking to try and set that time that they can for this Q2 session on those mediums. But I've got to be brutally honest, I don't know. 128.0. Yeah, it could be interesting. I think Dylan could stand a chance, but Sean Street on his time there, I don't know if he's going to be pushing it to try and get through on a set of mediums in this Q2 session.
Well, Sean Street, I think he's out, isn't he, anyway?
Was he? Oh, sorry, no,
yeah,
Sean Street was out. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, yeah, he is out. Yeah, he was in the drop zone, so that's
Dylan,
fine.
I think Dylan will be okay on a set of harder tyres, to be honest. He's a very quick driver, so I think he'll certainly at least give it a go. And if not, resort to the softs. But I think we'll see him through here tonight on a set of mediums. But then again, like I've said, we need to kind of change our perspectives a bit, because there's a mixture of many other kind of drivers of different talents in. So who knows what could happen, Eddie? Yeah,
no, absolutely, as I've intimated on there. Adrian, what are your feelings on that first Q session?
Yeah, it's am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Yeah, it was very, very tight, wasn't it? In the in the top half. I've actually had a report from Ryan Lear. He's actually suffered a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Ulster Stig, who actually qualified 20th. Ryan just coming out the pit lane, and the collision was funny enough made off track. Between the two drivers. Not quite sure how that happened, but yeah, it's a 5-place penalty for Ryan Lear. It's unknown whether any penalty was given to Ulster Stig.
Oh, okay. Well, Ross Milburn, first man out on track in the Renault. Interestingly, followed very closely by his teammate this evening, Nicky Visser. Now, we know that Nicky is a fan of the toe. He's actually pulling away now, and because he had the Ferrari, I think, of RRL Addict, yes, right up, the SF1 Tom, right up his posterior. Was it SF1 Tom? What was it? Ferrari. Addict.
Yeah.
SF1 Tom, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Brew the Goat's actually going to be the first guy to get on a hot lap as it stands. He's just coming around to complete sector 2 now.
So Brew the Goat in the McLaren
13.
for SF1. I think it was just because I was on Ross Milburn when he came out because he was the top of the
yeah, no, I was
there
as well.
Yeah. So he's going to be the first man to set a lap. Let's go on board with him now for his lap. So coming down the start, finish straight into tight right-hand bend, turn 1. Hit that apex there. Watch as you come out. You want to turn because you've got that turn 2 very close in behind. Then turn 3, DRS activation, taking you down to turn 4. Will hit, didn't quite hit top gear. Into turn 4, that right-hander now, straighten up, watch as you come on the exit of the power. Now coming down round 5, 6 and 7, this is what I'm probably saying is reminiscent to France as you come down to here. Then you've got that hard right of turn 8, leading down now to this sector, I say this turn 9, similar to there's Americas in the sector 3. Round 9 down to 10, then you've got the second DRS activation point. That leads him down to slight uphill left of 11. You've got to watch it as you wind up round there. Very easy to lose it. You've got to really wind up power into 12. Right-hander sloping down into 13. Watch the power on the exit onto that final straight down towards turn 14. Round 14. Into 15, onto the start finish straight. DRS activation point. Coming up towards the line now, and he sets a wonderful time there. Fantastic, a 1:28.3. Eke betters that time with a 1:27.806. SF1 Evil 1:29.445. Nicky Viss has just jumped up into P3 ahead of him now. Now to 4, 1:29.1. Ross Milburn takes that P3 to 1:28.7. So the Renaults there doing very nicely. It's F1 Evil, as I said, he's done a 1:29.4. He's in 5. SF1 Tom 1:29.6. On board with a whiffy winner for SF1. Look at that, Becker 313, his teammate in the Mercedes for SF1, sets a 1:28.3, puts in provisional second here.
Exactly the same time as Brew the Goat.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting indeed. Look at that, 1:28.382. Damie Hartman, look at that. Where did that come from? 1:28.3 puts him up into provisional P2 position.
Very good.
Dylan Platt, 1:28.4. He set it on those mediums. That's not bad. He set a 1:28.5 on the previous Q1 on those mediums, so he's obviously feeling a bit more comfortable. Interestingly, Ross Milburn on a set of hard tyres, 1:28.7.
Yeah, yeah, very strong, very strong time from Ross there. And Nicky running the medium, so 2 different strategies being run down at Renault for the race.
Yeah, but I mean, he certainly delivered on that. I didn't notice I hadn't selected the tyre choices there. Where are we? SF1 Tom, he's also gone out on the hards, but he's coming into the pits now. Could well see him going on to a set of mediums. Whiffy winner, coming round sector 3 now. What's he going to do? A 1:30.6. Phil Harris in the pits at the moment. Basden Brown is out in that Toro Rosso. He's just coming round sector 2 now, round that turn 11 into 12, round 13, and it's such a tricky sector, isn't it? That, you know, that 11, 12, 13, just coming out of sector 2 into the third sector. I mean, it's easy to lose if you lay the power down wrong or you've got the line wrong, especially as you're going round the 11 into 12. Very easy to go offline there, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. 2 in general is just a sector that lacks traction, it seems, on most corners, especially like you said, 11 and 12 and 13. They will, any curbs you touch there will throw the car off. So yeah. It's very, you know, pivotal really, just to keep it off the curbs but get that line right. So tricky sector to get right, but gives you a lot of time gained if you can do it.
Definitely, and Baz setting a 128.3, putting him up into provisional P5 position. So Phil Harris still in the pits. RL Addict is actually on his out lap now. Harrison is also in the pits. Is that Phil Harris coming out?
Looks to... No, not yet, but I can tell. Interestingly though, Dylan Platt now opting to go on a set of hard, so he thinks he's got more time in that car on the harder compounds. So that'll be interesting to see if we can get a better line out of Dylan.
Well, we've got 7.5 minutes remaining. I guess it's worth the try, and if he can deliver something that's close or better, then he's in good standing. And he's still got time, even if he wanted to. If things got really desperate, he's still got time to switch over onto a set of softs, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And him and Ross Milburn, they're doing a swap. Ross now coming back out on the medium tyre, so they're each trying each other's strategies out at the moment.
Yeah, as I say, Ross Milburn coming out on a set of mediums there. Nicky Visser has opted to go on to a set of softs. So, but understandable, he's in that P10 position. So remember, in this Q2, we take 15 drivers and we drop the slowest 5, so the top 10 go then through to the Q3. So Nicky Visser are currently sitting in that P10 position in this Q2. He's going to want to defend that. He wants to get into that Q3, so he's ready with a set of softs. I don't think he's going to go out just yet. He's just biding his time there, I think. What do you reckon, Dan?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going to be looking out, seeing what the field's going to do in general, and decide then what tyre he wants to go back out on. As it comes across the line there with 128.2 on the medium tyre, so that was a rapid lap.
That was
from the
a
SF1 driver.
very fast lap. He's actually a full 10th and a half almost up on the next best, which is one of his SF1 teammates, Bruder Goat. Just trying to see, Ross Milburn was a 128.7, so that's half second faster than the fastest F1 Tonight on the mediums, and that's Ross Milburn for F1 Tonight UK. So very good lap there, certainly from RRL Addict. So looking good at this moment in time, and SF1 with 3 of the top 5 drivers actually make that 4 of the top 5 drivers. Davey Hartman still holding out there in P4 at this moment in time. Basin Brain 6, Dylan Platt 7, Ross Milburn 8, Ryan Leon 9, Whiffy Winner 10, Nicky Visser has now dropped to 11, so he's going to have to get out there. SF1 Evil 12, SF1 Tom 13, Phil Harris still in the pits, as is Harrison. So those guys obviously waiting for the track to get well seasoned in. I mean, that does smack of confidence, and they are both on soft tyres, so they're obviously very confident as to what they can achieve.
Yeah, they are, and I think sharing that confidence right now, Bruder Go, who I just witnessed come up to P2 now.
Yeah, 128.0.8, fantastic run there from Bruder.
Those SF1 guys now to run those medium tyres in for sure at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like you say, Phil Harris and Harrison will be waiting, I think in this case, for the track just to bed in, get the most grip down, and then go out and give it another go. As Eke 0-0 has just gone fastest with a 127.1 on the soft, so... Wow,
127.146. Very fast time, but again, I mean, that's 9/10 faster than Bruder Goat, but he is on the mediums. But to give it a comparison, Davey Hartman, next man on the softs, was a 128.3. So that's actually, 1.2 seconds faster than the next fastest on the softs.
Yeah, but then just watching Dylan Platt do what Dylan Platt does best, so he's come out on the hard tyre, the 128.2.
Look at that. That is phenomenal. Dylan Platt there, what a run. On the hard tyre, the hardest compound sets a 128.2. Yes, he is 1.1 seconds off the fastest, which is Eke 00, but he's on the hardest compound tyre. That is some achievement.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what we were waiting to see, to be honest. That screams Dylan. That does that time.
Now remember, whatever these top 10 guys set their fastest lap on, whatever tyre they were using, will be the tyre they will start the race with. Now, Dylan Platt for this track obviously, if he starts on that hard tyre, it's going to give him an advantage from, obviously, a pit stop point of view. I would suspect pit here is quite quick. I would suspect we're probably around about sort of 16 to 18 seconds. And that's the margin he's going to need to take advantage. Will he be able to do that on this track, on those hard compound tyres? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, agreed. I don't actually know what his result was here in the league race.
I'm sure Adrian can tell us.
Yeah.
But,
stand by.
Stand by, yeah. Adrian in the background there. Hold on.
He qualified. Oh no. I'll come back to you. I was reading the wrong one.
He'll come back to us, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting indeed. 2 minutes remaining. Phil Harris and Harrison have not come out. I mean, are these guys just not coming out?
He just ran down the pit lane now.
Oh, Phil Harrison's coming out. Harrison coming out now.
They both changed tyres.
Phil Harrison's just come out. Yeah.
And Phil that's Harris now on the hard and Harrison on the mediums.
That is very interesting. They were on the softs. Yeah. Phil Harris has gone for the hard and Harrison has gone for the medium. So, yeah, okay. Well, keep an eye on these guys. We'll go on board with Phil Harris. Oh, he's his outlap, but he's got time. And Harrison, now these are going to be the two guys to watch at this moment. They certainly have the potential to get into that top 10. We've seen Ryan Lear get into the top 3 with a hard set of tyres, and RL Addict is in P4. So it is achievable for those guys to get into that top 10, but they haven't had anything out on this queue. This is basically all or nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is. Especially they've got one shot at this. So I know I would at least wanted one lap to get in, a banker. But these guys, obviously, like you say, they're screaming confidence at the moment, and hopefully they can put it out of the bag here with that one lap.
Well, I mean, tension must be... Well, these guys obviously like to live on the edge because, yeah, I would be... yeah, I'd be like a rabbit if that was me. Little pellets would be shooting out.
I think, yeah, you're right. That car would be very clean after I was finished with it, that's for sure.
Get the hose, boys. She needs hosing down.
She needs a clean.
Just to redeem myself, Dylan Platt qualified and finished second in this race, in a race that Tom Stevens pretty much dominated from start to finish.
I was about to say, yeah, he did.
There you
go. So that's going to be very interesting. Big shout out to Tom Stevens. Sorely missed this evening, but unfortunately not able to make it. Not too sure what's happening. I think Tom's just gone off the boil a little bit with regards to the sim racing, taking a bit of a break. But I'm sure someone of his quality will be back in the future. But Phil Harris is the man we are watching at this moment in time. And Phil Harris put in a fantastic season with F1 Tonight UK. Where did he come, Adrian?
Phil Harris, he qualified 11th here, but did finish 3rd. This was, in fact, his was this his debut race? Yeah, he didn't actually. He wasn't there for Australia, was he?
No, I think this was his debut race. Yeah. So he's in Sector 3 now, coming round onto the start-finish line. This is looking good. What can he do to 1:28.7? Not enough. He's in that P11 place. And Harrison comes over the line now. Is he going to be able to enter it? Looks like he will. 1:27.9 puts him up into P3. So Harrison for SF1 crosses the line. 1:27.934 on those mediums. Gets up to P3. Phil Harris took the risk. Didn't work. Ends up P12. So he'll be starting in row 6. P12 alongside Damie Hartman. He'll be in P11. Ryan Lear will be row 7. Sorry, Ryan Lee will be row 7, P13.
Lear is correct.
Oh, he is Lear. That's okay. That's right then. Sorry, he'll be starting P14, row 7. Phil Harris will be alongside 13. SF1 Tom will be in P12, row 6. Damie Hartman, as I said, will be in 11. And bringing up in row 8. the SF1 Evil in P15. So our top 3 drivers there were Eke again takes the top spot with a blinding 127.1. This man clearly is going to be a man to watch. And then we have Nicky Visser in second, 127.6. Harrison with a 127.9 as we saw. Baz Brand 128.0. Brew the Goat 128.0 as well. Dylan Platt 128.2. ROL Addict 128.2. Whiffy Winner 128.2. Ross Milburn 128.2. And Becker 128.3. So very, very close in the basically from 3 down. But Eke's clearly going to be the man to watch there. But also Dylan Platt with that move on the hards. But then we got ROL Addict, Harrison, Brew the Goat and Ross Milburn on the mediums, everyone else on the soft. So there's quite a mixed bag in that top 10 for the start of this race, isn't there, tyre-wise?
Yeah, indeed, yeah. In the middle, though, yeah, like you say, really, really close. Really close.
Very, very close indeed.
Guys, so the race is going to be very interesting. Just one for you, Eddie, potentially. John Donkel just saying that my sound seems to be very far away. I'm not sure if that's something that you can turn up on your end.
A little bit. I think
or
it's
if that's
got
issue
more
on
to
my
do.
end, I don't know, but
I'll turn you up a little bit there. Let's see if that helps. I think it's probably a combination of both, to be fair.
yeah.
While you guys are doing that, I just want to correct a couple of errors before anyone starts shouting at me. Dylan Platt, he didn't start and finish second, he started and finished third, sorry. And Phil Harris, I said this was his debut race, that was complete rubbish because he was one of the OG members,
originals.
He was there at Australia.
Yeah.
He qualified 4th here and finished 2nd place. So he actually beat Dylan at this race.
Aha, right, okay, so
interesting.
it's going to be an interesting one. We are on board with Eke 00. This is the final queue, the top 10 shootout for this SF1 F1 Tonight Interleague Championship, this one-off event race. And, well, I say it's one-off for now, but who knows what the future may bring. Interestingly, let's have a look at the top 10 and the representation that we've got in there. We've got 4, am I correct? 1, 2, 3, 4 F1 Tonight drivers, which means that we've got 6 SF1 drivers. So interesting that. I'd expect everyone is going to be, let's see, on the softs. They are indeed, as I expected. So this is the time, normally, when we're doing an F1 Tonight race, where we say, who are you going to put for pole and who are you going to put for the race? So I'm going to open up on that. I'm not going to lay it on either you, Adrian or Dan, just yet. Just yet. I'm going to put Eke 00 for the pole, but I am actually, I'm going to put Nicky Visser for the win.
Very good. It wouldn't surprise me.
That's a really good shout, actually, because this race, if you remember, Eddie, this was the start of Nicky's dominance, wasn't it? And he absolutely blew the competition away in the Netherlands League here. Finished something like 24 seconds ahead of second place. Led from, I think, almost from start to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, I think that's a really good shout for Nicky. My money's on Phil, though. My money's on Phil to win this race. Pole position, yeah, will be Eke 00.
And you're putting Phil Harris for the win, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope you're writing this down, Adrian.
Cool.
and Dan, what's your shout? And feel free to concur with anyone if you wish, sir.
I disagree with both of you.
Oh, okay. That's good.
My money is on Mr. Platt himself, who is getting a tow from Eke on his hot lap right now.
Yeah.
Like a good driver does. And he's going to take pole, and the winner will be Baz Brand.
Okay, so you reckon Dylan Platt will take pole and Baz Brand will be the winner, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Interesting call, but yeah, I mean, we know Baz is the master strategist, so even though he's not in this top 10 shootout, as you quite rightly point out, he's not a man to be discounted, that's for sure.
Right, and he is in it. He's P7 right now.
Sorry, he's P7. Sorry, I do apologise. I didn't see that. I'm not used to seeing him in the blue. I'm used to seeing him in the orange or the red.
There's a lot of that going on, isn't there?
Yeah, it's very confusing, I've got to say. So Eke, unsurprisingly, takes that pole with a 126.7. Dylan Platt second, 127.0. Harrison 127.1. RL Addict just takes 4 from Brooder Goat with a 127.4. Brooder Goat 127.5. Bastenbrain 127.8. Ross Milburn 127.9. Nicky Visser 128.0. Whiffy Winner 128.2. And Becker 128.4. So clearly a division already happening in that top 10. And I suspect it's going to become more apparent as this queue goes on, actually. Yeah, very interesting indeed. But Eke, 126.7. I mean, that is formidable. And it's been on the softs all the way through. Has he just found that optimum now, do you think?
I think, yeah. I've been doing three qualifying sessions on that one compound. I think, yeah, he's coming to his stride in this last qualifying session. And
he's into the pits. Dylan Platt follows him into the pits as well. Harrison just coming round down to the penultimate turn 14. Into 15. And he's going to come in the pits as well. Yes, he is. RRL Addict out in Sector 2. Let's go with him now, as he's coming down around turn 13. Just done the twists and turns of that final Sector 2, 11 and 12. Nice straight now, down towards the penultimate 14. And you're quite right, really. I mean, really, there's only really, well, a corner and a bit in that third sector, isn't there?
Yeah, there's not an awful lot to it. And I mean, the fact they've got 14 and 15 out of those little kinks, I mean, well, 15 especially, but yeah, not really many corners in that one at all.
So Becker, only man out on track at the moment, coming down round turn 8. In this second sector, round 9.
Yeah, I think he's backed out of that one.
I think he has.
0 at the moment.
Yeah, he's just getting himself lined up again. Obviously, something didn't quite go right for him there, but interesting, yeah. Just trying to see this difference here. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, we're looking at, what, 3/10 between Dylan Platt and Eke. A 10th between Harrison and Dylan Platt. 3/10 between Addict and Harrison. 1/10 between Brooder and Addict. 3/10 between Dembrain and Brooder. 1/10 between Ross Milburn and Dembrain. Nicky Visser, 1/10 between him and Ross Milburn. So there's an even spread, but the drivers are still quite tight amongst their sort of the drivers either side of them, aren't they? It's going to be interesting how this pans out with the final 4.5 minutes remaining of this Q3 session.
Yeah, certainly. It'll be interesting for sure. Like you say, they're close within each other, but the gap generally, the spread is quite large. But yeah, between themselves, they're quite close from first to 10th. So a lot of change could happen on these second hot laps.
Everybody in the pits, who's going to be the first man out? And I have a sneaking suspicion that the drivers are all having a similar mindset to the real-world drivers in last season's Italian Grand Prix. But it looks like the Renault guys are getting ready. Or is that the Haas? Yeah. That's the Haas guys.
2 Renaults.
Or is it 2? No, it's the 2 Renaults. Yeah, Ross Milburn and Nicky Visser. So they've opted to be the first out. Remember, generally, last man out, last man on the track setting his fastest lap is going to have the best opportunity, certainly from a track readiness point of view. So that's why we're seeing a lot of the drivers still holding off. But Ross Milburn out on track, and his teammate Nicky Visser in behind him. And again, are we looking at a little bit of team cooperation here while they've got a clean track? If they can get a tow, or if Nicky can get a tow off Ross and vice versa, this could actually help them quite a lot, couldn't it?
Certainly could, yeah, and I think that's what they'll be going for at the moment. Like you say, Nicky Visser won for a toe, so they will, I'm sure, be talking strategy and hopefully help each other out in this qualifying session.
Yeah, going to be very interesting indeed. And getting the heat in those tyres there, Ross Milburn, getting himself psyched up and ready as he winds around that long left of 11 and into that long right of 12. Reverse camber as he comes through there. It's the entrance as you're coming into 11 that I always find the trickiest.
Yeah, 12 as well can be tricky. If you turn in too much, you get a slight hit of oversteer and you catch that inside curb, often it results in game over.
Yep. Well, yeah.
So yeah, that little S section, not the funnest part.
So Ross Milburn crosses the line, Nicky Visser behind him. A little bit too far for a toe, I think, so I don't think that's working at this moment in time, although Ross, he hasn't backed off. I think the gap's too big for a toe.
Yeah, I don't think they're going for that strategy at the moment by the looks of it. I mean, I don't know if
they may have been attempting it, but it hasn't worked out. I can just see, I think that's Dylan Platt in the background there.
That's one purple in one.
Yeah, Dylan Platt indeed in the background there behind the Renault, and he's just backing off. Oh, somebody's gone off track there, and that looked like that was
Romeo there.
That was Addict. Yeah, it was Addict, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so. I've just gone on board with it, but it didn't actually give me his car. So yeah, that was Addict going off there. I think that was actually turn 5 by the looks of it. So everybody is back out now. Let's see what they can do.
It's worth reminding viewers and the drivers actually that 2 points are up for grabs in this session, of course, for pole position in this race.
So pole position will be the first points awarded, and they will be 2 points to the respective team. Remember that this is about the cumulative points of the team members. So actually, are we going to announce that tonight at the end of the race, I guess?
Yes. I will be keeping tabs on exactly how many points each team has got.
That's not what he wanted to do. Sorry. He's got dirty tyres there. That's not going to help him. Nicky Visser coming. Is he pulling aside there by the pit lane? It looks like he's going to the pits. He didn't come out. So
fresh finished his lap, I believe. That's why he's done that.
So all a bit of a mix at this moment in time. Eke still holds with that 126.7.
The 10th up, purple in 1.
He is.
So he's going quicker already.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a 126.585 is pole time.
And that's not using any program at all.
No, absolutely not. You know what I'm like, Eddie. I'll pick the rain on the right lap. I'm going to get pole time right. I'm the octopus that predicted all the World Cup races.
Yeah. I'll give you a shout tomorrow morning for the lottery numbers, mate.
The lotto, yeah, no worries.
So we are on board with Eke 00.
Purple through 2 as well.
Yeah, he is
Dylan
setting
is
a blinding
slightly
time
more
there.
up through that first sector than Eke was, but of course he is 3/10 down. Getting blocked a bit there by one of our own drivers, I think. That was Ross Milburn.
And Eke crosses the line. Look at that, 126.5. 1.4 takes 2/10 off his previous best.
Dylan is purple in 2, getting a toe from Ross Milburn. He's
needs to get out of the way. Ross gets out of the way. Oh, has he gone offline there? No, he hasn't. It's looking good still.
This looks good here for Dylan.
Oh, 126.4. Look at that. He's taken the pole. What a fantastic result there. My goodness me. Where did that come from? Absolutely
that was some league help there from Ross Milburn there, helping his F1 Tonight co-racer out.
Well, it looked to me more like he was hindering him than helping him, but it worked out well.
He was pushing into the
1:26.45 from Dylan Platt takes the pole, and the first 2 points go to F1 tonight. Elke is in P2 with a 1:26.5 in that front row. Row 2, P3, Brooder Goat. Alongside him will be his teammate in the McLaren and his FF1 teammate Harrison. Row 3, P5 will be RLL Addict for SF1. Alongside him will be Ross Milburn in the Renault for F1 tonight. Row 4 will be Nicky Visser in the second Renault. He'll be in P7. P8 will be Baz Dembran in the Toro Rosso. And in row 5 will be Whiffy Winner. And he is, what car is he in? Mercedes, of course. Oh, silly me. Oh, dearie me. Bit of a contact there. He's in Mercedes P9. And P10 will be his teammate as well, I believe, won't it?
Yes, it was Becca 313.
Yeah, Becca
yes.
313, yeah. So there you have our top 10. Dylan Platt steals it on the knock-ins and against everybody's prediction. Am I correct? Or did you call it?
I called it, yeah.
You did, didn't you? You said Dylan. Yeah, you did.
Say Dylan,
so.
I've got it written down.
Dan, I'm impressed. I am
Thanks very
sorely
much.
impressed.
I'll have my glass of water ready.
No, actually, for that, I think I will actually allow you to have some shandy, sir.
Oh, I said. I was what? Hazzah!
Yeah, it'll be 3/4 lemonade, though.
Indeed, yeah, that's fine.
No, that was a good shout.
It's an
I've got to
improvement.
say, what made, actually, out of interest, why did you shout that?
It was a mixture of some bias and also that Dylan is just he's the man for the job.
Yeah, I've got to
He's El
say,
Rapido.
I've got to say, I was looking at the previous cues and not taking into account the fact, obviously, that Dylan had been on the hardest compound tyres, hadn't gone on to the softs. But even then, I've got to say, even during that Q1, he was fast, but I didn't think he was going to be that fast. But
To be honest, I didn't
he
either.
delivered, didn't he? He really did deliver there.
Yeah, he certainly did. To be honest, I did think during that queue, after the first couple of laps, I thought Elke would have had it, but certainly that toe from Ross Milburn, I think, has definitely improved his time enough to get that pole position. So great teamwork there between the F1 Tonight UK guys.
Absolutely fantastic run there. And our first blood goes to F1 Tonight, Adrian.
Yep. Yeah, first points on the board. Not to take anything away from our boys, but if they do finish as they are right now, SF1 will win with 112 points to F1 Tonight's 100.
Wow. So if they finish as they are at the moment on the grid, that would be an SF1 win. So this is what you call the sort of exit poll, I guess, really, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
So in this SF1 F1 Tonight Challenge, our exit poll is showing SF1 win by 12 points, 112 to 100. However, we still have a race to go. Now, we'll be starting, I think, in what, about 4 minutes?
20:33 is when drivers have been told to ready up.
Okay, so 4 minutes will be the start of the race. I've called, as I said, for Nicky Visser. Adrian, you called Dylan, correct?
I called Phil, actually. I didn't
Phil,
actually
sorry,
realise
Phil.
He didn't make it into the top 10.
He did.
But I'm still
You're
calling him.
anyway. And Dan called Bass. So, interesting. We've all obviously gone for the drivers, I guess, that we know. The unknown quantity here, though, obviously, is the SF1 guys. As I say, I have had a look at their races, and they are certainly very fast. And that has been shown, obviously, during the qualification session. But that said, I think looking on previous form and as they set in their championship at the moment, it looks like it could be favourite to either Harrison or Addict, because they're the guys that are in there at the moment who have delivered during their season for SF1.
Yeah, I can't say I've actually watched too much SF1. Unfortunately, I haven't done my research. I'm a naughty boy. I haven't done my homework.
Well, I haven't done a lot. I just listened at the right or appropriate times.
But yeah, I can't actually say I know who's where in that league, but I do know they've got some quick guys, and I think qualifying so far certainly proved that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just having a look at the YouTube comments, getting a lot of people talking in there at the moment.
Let's get some of the comments going and get some shout outs.
Firstly, RA Cop's been very active, saying nice to hear your voice again, Eddie.
Harry! Harry!
And also say how exciting this qualifying was, almost as good as a regular F1 qualifying session. So very kind of you there, Ari. Thank you very much. Wrath Gaming representing SF1. I think during the point when we were talking about the, I think our guys being maybe a bit in front in terms of quali pace. Don't worry, that will change, says Wrath Gaming. Quali pace versus race pace. So I think he's thinking SF1 looking very strong tonight. So
yeah,
the race is going to be pretty exciting, I think.
They are.
What else are we seeing? Simulation Formula 1, the actual channel there. Looking forward to an amazing race. I think so are we. There's a lot on the table here that's got the trademark to a very good race, I think, hasn't it, coming up?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, as I say, it's the first interleague championship or race, effectively, that F1 tonight have done. We're very, very happy to pair with SF1. And that said, I've got to give a big shout out to the man who runs SF1. That's Kyle Roberts over there in the good old US of A. So,
Kyle Rhodes. Sorry, Kyle Rhodes.
Sorry, I apologise. Sorry, Kyle. I do apologise. I'm going off pat here. So Kyle Rhodes over there in the good old US of A. And also to our Adrian Stats Rich for actually getting it all organised, because you actually came up with the idea and got it running, Adrian, didn't you?
I don't want to take all the credit for it. It is very much a team effort. But it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and originally it was just going to be sort of UK versus F1 tonight, UK versus F1 tonight, NL, and then I figured either, there must be other 100% distance leagues out there. And I know you mentioned earlier on SF1 don't do 100%. They don't normally. They have 50% races in their normal tiered races, but they do also run what they call a performance league, which do run 100% distance. So they've got plenty of guys with full race distance experience.
Okay, so that's probably where I didn't pick up on Eke and a couple of the other guys then. I was not watching their performance, probably. I was watching their GP1, so that would make sense.
And I need to also note that we have lost a driver, and unfortunately, the protocol is that we do have to continue. That driver is Jamie Good, who normally would be racing for F1 tonight. UK, but is also a member of SF1, and he is racing under the gamer tag Verstappen RB333. So he is, or the game or whatever has just decided to kick him from the game, and we can't restart without messing up everyone's tyre strategies and etc. I appreciate it is just a fun race. But it's going to cause big headaches if we try to restart. Unfortunately, it's a real shame, because I love Jamie. He's a great driver, and he will be missed in this race, and he's going to be absolutely gutted to not be part of it.
The one has to sacrifice for the all.
Indeed, Eddie.
So great shame, obviously, for Jamie Verstappen RB33. But I guess technical issues happen. They happen as much in the real world as they do in the sim world. And it's just one of those situations. Session will start in 12 seconds. The drivers are starting to ready up. And we will be getting underway very shortly indeed for the start of this SF1 F1 Tonight Challenge Cup. So we are on board now with our pole sitter, and that's Dylan Platt, as we can see there. So he's starting in P1. And alongside him will be Eke 00 in P2. P3 will be Bruder Goat. P4 will be Harrison. P5 will be RRL Addict. P6 will be Ross Milburn. P7 will be Nicky Visser. Go on board, see the cars a little bit better. P7 will be Baz Denbrayan. Sorry, P8. P9 will be Whiffy Winner. P10 is going to be Becca. P10 is Davey Harmon. P12 will be SF1 Tom. P13 will be Phil Harris. P14 will be SF1 Evil. P15 will be Sander Hermans. P16 will be Hans van der Berg. P19 will be Sean Street. P19 Ryan Lear. And what's going on there? And Ultra Stig bringing up the rear. Sorry, Ulster Stig, I do apologise. Ulster Stig bringing up the rear in P20. I've got 20 drivers, so he is there.
No, P17 doesn't exist. P17 was.
Oh, sorry,
during...
P17 has gone. Sorry, yeah, that's right. Yeah, P17 has gone. So we go from 16 to 18. So the drivers getting ready now, as we get ready as well. Start of this race. Drivers on the grid. Dylan Platt ready to go. Eke 00, and let's not forget. Lights are on, and we are off for the start. This F1 Tonight Grand Prix. Oh, bit of a move there. The guys didn't move very quickly there. So let's have a quick look. Eke takes the lead before they get down to turn 1. Dylan Platt drops second. Bruder Goat up to 3. Becca and Bruder Goat there fighting out there for that P3. Oh, there's contact. There's contact there between, looks like Becca and Harrison as well. Becca dropping down, Harrison dropping down. Nicky Visser is in 6. Harrison moves up to 4. Ross Milburn is in 5. Becca is in 3rd. Dylan Platt 2nd. Eke leads the way. RL Addict jumps up to 7, now into 6. And Nicky Visser drops down to 7. Ross Milburn moves up to 5. Real battle going on here between 4 and 7, as we can see. Baz Denbrayan is in 8. Damie Harmon is 9. Then we have SF1 in 10. Sander 11. Phil Harris now drops down to 12 from 11. Sander takes the place from behind to the back. 13. Ryan Lear 14. SF1 Tom 15. 16 Ulster Stig moving up to 16. Bruder Goat 17. Whiffy Winner 18. 19 is Sean Street. So back with P1. Eke leads the way. Dylan Platt close in behind him. Becca already 2 seconds behind them. Harrison just under a second behind Becca. Ross Milburn half a second behind Harrison. Nicky Visser 1 second behind Ross Milburn. RL Addict half a second behind. Look at this. Here is Damie Harmon trying to carve his way through there, isn't he? Look at that.
Yeah, this is a great races so far from both leagues. And I mean, the tables have turned a little bit, haven't they, after the first couple of corners here, not even the first lap. The field certainly much more even with both representatives from both leagues at the moment. F1 Tonight sort of, and SF1 spreading out evenly across the field now.
Yeah, Addict's dropped down 1 to 6. Nicky Visser has now taken that place move up to P5. Ross Milburn is 4th. Becker is 3rd. Dylan Platt 2nd. Eke leads the way, as I said, at this moment in place. But Becker, what a fantastic start from him. Up 7 places from 10 up to P3.
Yeah, I mean, that is a mighty start from Becker there, as you say. That SF1 driver there looking very, very quick at the moment. Certainly a very quick start indeed.
But I think that it all happened, unfortunately, and I think it all happened there with Brew to go, because there seems to be some sort of contact there. He's dropped down 11 places, started in P3, dropped down 11 to 14, Brew to go, and there was a little bit of what we might term argy-bargy, I think, going on there. As they were coming round the, I think it was turn 3 down towards 4.
Yeah, I didn't actually get much of the start kind of coming together there that you're talking about, but both McLarens certainly fell foul of that. Brew to go down 11 and Harrison down 13 places. So
yeah,
certainly something went on for sure. I think one thing we're going to see develop, or at least the drivers will certainly be learning throughout the course of these opening laps, if not the whole race, is just how both leagues drive, because of course these guys will never run together, at least that we know of, and certainly not in an official sense. So both guys will be learning how the other guys drive.
Well, Harrison clearly had damage. He's come into the pits. I think Sander Herman's been involved in that as well, because he's come into the pits, and also Oster Stig. So not exactly sure how that panned out there. So yeah, there was definitely contact there. He did come into the pits. Let's have a quick look at the tyre selections as they stand at this moment in time. Eke is on the softs, Dylan Platt on the hards, and I've got to say, what a fantastic run there from Dylan Platt on those hard compound tyres. He's 2 seconds behind Eke, but what a fantastic run from him, bearing in mind, and he's 3 seconds, well, really 4 seconds ahead of P3 Becker.
Yeah, Dylan, well, we know he likes the hard tyre, and you can see it here, he's just running really strong with them at the moment. I mean, yeah, like you say, 2 seconds behind to Eke, but that's to be expected with the tyre difference there for those two. But yeah, Dylan's still in the running here, and of course his tyres will be going much longer than Eke's, so he can just kind of bide his time.
Cut, but I'm just watching a fight here between the Renault, Ross Milburn and Becker. Ross Milburn takes that place from Becker, but the real fight going on. Becker is now in a Renault sandwich between Ross Milburn and Nicky Visser. He did lose that P3 place to Ross Milburn, but he's not giving up, is he? Look at that.
No, he isn't, no. And I mean, Nicky Visser, I think, wants to start to the action as well, because he's not too far back of Becker at the moment. He'll have DRSs as well down the main straight here. So both Renaults getting in the mix there with that low Mercedes.
Oh, and he's trying to get in there in that turn 1. He's looking to get the angle into turn 2. Look, he's going to try and get the inside there. Can't quite make it. As Ross Milburn cuts that there and gets ahead of him. But yeah, he's definitely looking to put in the fight. And Nicky Visser just sort of hanging back at this moment in time, isn't he? I think he's just sort of assessing the situation and seeing what Becker's going to do ahead of him.
Indeed, yeah, and I think that's important for him to do that, especially with his teammate at least a moment ago not very far ahead of Becker, but he's starting to pull away now, and I think that's what Nicky's waiting for, is just some space to make a move himself, because obviously if his teammate's right in front of the Mercedes, he can pass in, but he's got nowhere to kind of slot in front, so just biding his time at the moment or waiting for that opportunity to come up to potentially make a move on the Mercedes.
Yeah, I think you could be right. It's going to be an interesting one to see. They are very, very close there. So real fight going on at the moment for that P3.
So close, isn't it? Looking down the back, I mean, there's tenths. There's barely a second between anybody until it's F1 Tom.
Well, RRL Addict, he's 8 tenths off the back of Basta Brown just under 2.5 seconds off the back of Nicky Visser. Then we have Davey Hartman. Well, he's 2 tenths behind RRL Addict. I mean, he is really breathing in those high-octane fumes at this moment in time, looking to see if he can get a little look in as they were... a little bit of contact there on the back wheel. And that was out of 15. And Addict actually goes into the pits.
Maybe wing damage, I'm not quite sure.
I think Addict had some damage. It may have been end plate. Let's have a quick look here. He comes into the pits. Yeah, he's got some damage. on that front right. He lost some of the end plates on there, so that's why he's come into the pit. That has obviously released Davey Hartman now up into that P7 position. SF Evil is only 8 tenths behind Davey Hartman, but Phil Harris, look at this, Phil Harris again, 2 tenths off the back of SF1 Evil. He is really riding his tail at this moment in time.
Indeed, yeah, and on the harder tyre as well, looking really strong is Phil Harris at the moment on that compound.
Amazing, isn't it? These guys in these hard compound tyres, you wouldn't expect it at this track, but I suppose it really comes into play in the first and third sectors. Because, you know, they're just pretty much high speeds, not a straight line, obviously, but certainly the third sector. A little bit trickier in the middle sector, but as long as you can hold it, and it's looking good at this moment in time for them.
Indeed, yeah. I think there's some quite high tyre wear though for those soft runners, so we'll see how long they can go on this first stint.
Adrian, I know I always ask you this question, and it's always a difficult one, but how do you see these compounds running? What would be your expectations, if any?
Well, we've got a number of different strategies here, haven't we? We've got some on the hard tyres, and you've got gaan in front on out in front on the soft compound. I think the hard tyre can do sort of 35 laps or so. Without too much problem. Some of our drivers did some testing earlier on to try and just see how far they could push it. Medium tyre is somewhere between 22 to 26 laps, and the soft tyre is about 15, I think, at a push. So yeah, you've got multiple strategies, multiple possible winning strategies available to you. Don't know if you remember Nicky Visser opted for the two-stop in his race. I think he started on the mediums. It took them to around 24, then mediums again up until 48, and then softs for the final stint. I think we'll see anyone starting on the mediums will probably employ that same strategy, and the ones on softs will do it in reverse.
Okay. So we're looking potentially, you think then a two-stop, that's going to be the one. I mean, can we see a one-stop from these guys on the hard compound tyres, do you think?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think if Dylan, Phil, SF1 Tom down there, RO Addict, they're all on the hard tyres. Yeah, I think if they can push these tyres to around lap 40, I think that there'll be enough in the soft tyre to get that the last 17 laps. Bearing in mind you've got very low fuel at that late stage in the race.
I mean, and is there an option, do you think, for them to go from the hard potentially straight onto a soft?
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But I thought you were saying they might go onto a medium. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. They could easily go hard soft, couldn't they? Yeah.
Tyre deg's not too bad round Sakhir. It's not as punishing as some of the other desert circuits. But yeah, as I said, multiple options open to the drivers. My personal preference would be a two-stop. But yeah, that's just because I don't like the hard tyre.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. I mean, the drives, it's spread out, but we still do have some drivers very close. Nicky Visser, half a tenth off the back of Becker at this moment in time. And, Ross Milburn has managed to pull away from Becker. Nicky Visser still very much in the game there. Also, Davey Hartman, 3 tenths on the back of SF1 Evil. Ryan Lear, 3 tenths off the back of him. And Vanderberg, 6 tenths off the back of Ryan. Whiffy Winner, he's just gone, was 9 tenths, now just over a second, and then you've got Sean Street. So that midfield, very, very tight still between 9 and 14, isn't it?
Yeah, very close. Sorry, sorry, Dan, interrupted you.
That's all right. Come on, guys. Dan, what do you think?
I think it certainly is, Eddie.
I'm going to remember to call you because I'm not used to another two ignoring you guys, but yeah, Dan, I mean, it is that midfield, and that's quite common, really, isn't it, that we see a tight midfield in these races?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, this is probably as tight as I've seen it.
And Davey Hartman just getting ahead of Hans van der Berg there, actually, getting that P10. Look at this. I mean, they're side by side. It's 4 abreast there, for God's sake, coming down.
Winner.
Oh! Was there contact?
There. Yeah,
I don't know. I think there could have been a glitch. I don't know if there was contact or not. I can't see any damage.
Hans Vandenberg and Sean Street there, both losing end plates respectively. Right. I think Sean's lost his right, Hans has lost his left end plate. If you winner there, he definitely has reason to make that move for sure, because those two were coming together on the outside of the circuit. They just turned in as Whiffy Winner got himself up the inside. So I think the racing industry maybe on that one, that was unlucky for all parties involved.
Yeah, as I say, there were 4 abreast practically coming into there, so
yeah,
you know, something had to give somewhere.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. I think actually Whiffy's managed to come out okay on that. No wing damage. Oh no, sorry, he's got a left end plate missing, so a couple of end plates missing, stranded out on track, so hopefully no punctures.
Yeah, left end plate is missing now. Hopefully we won't have any punctures. But it's very interesting, those medium runners very close in. Phil Harris, though, still doing well on those hard compound tyres himself. The next question I was going to ask, I mean, Adrian, how deep can Eke go, do you think, on the opening? Bearing in mind, full fuel load, he's already used those tyres. He's probably got about 3 or 4 laps to start on them anyway, so that would put him on potentially 11 to 12 laps. Surely he's going to be coming in, what, 10, lap 10, 11, maybe 12, I don't know.
It would be, around that sort of range. Despite the fastest laps that we've seen set by him, it doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. He's only just over 3 seconds ahead of Dylan, who is on the hard tyre. And the soft is a tyre that is about 1.4 seconds a lap faster, and we're now on, I'm seeing it as lap 9. You might be as lap 10.
Yeah, no, lap 9, yeah.
Yeah, so in that regard, yeah, it doesn't look like he's pushing it too hard. So yeah, he may even be able to take it to 15. That would be his ideal goal, but what state the tyres are in at that point, I don't know.
But bearing in mind, obviously, now the inviting was just set the fastest lap at 132.6, so he's definitely laying it down. Now, the question here is, obviously, he is going to come into the pits, certainly before Dylan Platt does. Dylan Platt will have effectively an advantage. As it stands at this moment in time, if he maintains that gap, and it is opening a little bit, but let's say it goes to 5 seconds when he pits, and then he comes out, he's going to have another 5 seconds effectively where he can catch him up. So 10 seconds is Dylan going to be able to take advantage of that? It seems to me that it's going to be tight, because there's probably only about 6 or 8 seconds sort of play between them, and that can easily be taken on track, can't it?
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? You know, like I often say, it's like a 200-mile-an-hour game of chess, a Formula One race, with the multiple strategies just coming into play at different points in the race. Yes, as you alluded to, yeah, I think it will be a move that will most likely be made on track.
Yeah, I think it will. I mean, certainly Dylan's got the advantage with that pit stop almost in his pocket, barring obviously touch wood, any incident. But it's still going to be still going to need the work, still need to be done out on track itself. Ross Milburn, he's in that P3 position and looking strong at this moment in time. I've got to say, okay, he's 10 seconds behind Dylan, but he's 7 seconds ahead of P4 Baz and Brian.
Yeah, doing very well, isn't he, Ross? And this is a circuit that he has done well in the past, actually. Let's have a look back at his stats. I bet I'm going to see that he actually didn't attend it. After saying that would be...
Yeah, I mean, he's in that, it's a safe P3 position. He's up 3 places from 6, so it's not looking too bad. Baz then Brian, he's in P4, up 6 places. He's just dropped down. He's got a fight going on there between himself and Becker. So Becker came up, closing the gap on him, took the place back from him. Baz has taken it back, but Becker is not giving up. Becker is on his tail. Look at that.
Yeah, worth noting, actually, some inter-team sort of teamwork going on there. As Nicky's actually been letting a lot of his teammates for F1 Tonight through. I think he's struggling with tyre wear on those soft tyres. He just let Phil Harris through to have a go at Becker.
Yeah, just seen that. Phil Harris got ahead of him, yeah.
he let Baz through about a lap ago, and he managed to get past Becker not too long after, a couple of corners later. So nice to see that team effort going on there within the league.
Well, Nicky very much races his own race, so he's never too phased by that. So that's an interesting one. But Becker has dropped a little bit behind now, so Baz Den Brayen is in that P4 position, up 4, as I said, from 8. Becker is in 5, he's up 5 from 10. Phil Harris is up 7 from 13. Remember, he didn't qualify, didn't get through into the final Q3 session. Went for a bit of a risky last-minute run, didn't quite pay off for him, but not doing too bad on track. He's up in 6, 2/10 off the back of Becker, and he's laying the pressure down on Becker now, isn't he, by the looks of it?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, he's got a lot more pace, I think, at the moment in those hard tyres. Interestingly enough, that he has got that much pace, but then again, Becker's soft tyres will be looking to be towards the end of their life at the moment. 12 laps into that speed.
Makes the move into 1, seals it out of 2, and gets ahead of Becker, moves up into that P5 position. Becker is in 6, Ryan Lear approaching as well now. Oh, and Phil Harris drops down. Becker's just taken the place back from him.
Yeah,
out of 4, they dropped back again. So, yeah, he clearly opened up the valves between 3 and 4, because it was into 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, just ran a bit wide on those, well, I think must be now worn softs for sure. Lacking the grip that Phil's got on his hards.
Now, this is interesting, because just having a quick look here, Eke did open up the gap there, but it seems to have dropped back down again now, because that gap is now 2.7 seconds to Dylan Platt.
Indeed, yeah, it was around the mid 3.4s, I think.
Well, it got up to 3.7, 3.8.
Okay,
he clearly opened up the valves.
But yeah, it's really dropping down now then, for sure. Just those hard tyres start to come into their own, and like we've said with a couple of other drivers, those soft tyres now starting to fall off a bit.
Yeah, and clearly, I think Eke is losing pace there at this moment in time, and he could be coming in. He's on lap 13 at this moment in time. Adrian was saying he might be able to go to 15, but I think he could even come in at the end of this lap. Probably not the end of this lap, probably the end of lap 14, but we'll see how it runs. Dylan Platt has closed that gap down. It's under 3 seconds, although it's opened up a little bit now. Ross Milburn still 11, nearly 12 seconds behind Dylan Platt. Phil Harris, we've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I think that was
that's for Red Bull. That's Hans Vanderberg, I think, yeah. Hans Vanderberg's probably lost it at turn 12, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's dropped right down to P19. Let's see if he's got any damage. No damage on the car, but he has dropped down to 19. So clearly he must have gone off track there around that sector 2.
And just making a stop there was Baz Den Brayen. He's now back out on the medium tyre. Becker, though, opting for another set of softs.
Interesting. So Becker's coming on for softs. He clearly wants to get ahead of these guys, doesn't he? He needs to get ahead of Vesser, then Brayen. That's what he's looking to do. And they've gone on to the, well, Nicky's gone already on the mediums. Baz just gone on to the mediums. Eke coming round now for lap 14. So I suspect it will be the end of 14. And the thing is, he can now see Dylan Platt in his rearview mirror. And Dylan Platt can very clearly see him. So Eke's going to be very aware that Dylan Platt is closed that gap down to him.
Yeah, he certainly will. And of all the soft runners, he's the last one to make it a stop. Everyone from P8 upwards has yet to stop. Understandably for the most of them, running medium and hards. But Eke, the only one pushing that soft stint out the extra couple of laps. So see what he comes up with.
It's going to be interesting, and strategy will play here. And this is going to be the important one, is where they're going to be after this first round of pit stops. Ulster Stig 83 picks up a 3-second time penalty there, clearly exceeding track limits. Let's hope we don't see too many of those, or indeed the 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's always a gutter, that one.
Yeah, indeed. Daly Hartland's just got past SF1 Evil. Those two have been battling for a long while now, and
they have.
Further back down, Baz Den Brayen, Nicky Visser, I think, has actually promoted himself to P10, getting past Baz Den Brayen. I don't think he was in front of him.
He He was.
But he was already, was he? Oh, because of the pit stop.
No. He was behind him.
Oh, he was.
Was he behind him or was he not?
I think it was actually no, because
no, he couldn't.
Nicky's pitted now. I don't know if Nicky managed to get the undercut.
Nicky was the first to pit. Baz pitted after him.
Right.
And Dylan Platt, fastest lap, 1:32.533. Wow. He
So
is really moving now. I just want to quickly go back to Eke. Because it's coming down now at turn 4. Yeah. So coming around now. Round 8, 9, so it was 4 that I saw him on also. Now he's really losing a lot of time here, and Dylan's taking full advantage of it, isn't he? He's really closed that down now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sub 2 seconds now.
Hans van der Berg,
really...
3-second time penalty. Bit of frustration, I think, from Van der Berg after that mistake he made in dropping down to 19, trying to get his way back through. And Eke is on lap 15. He's not coming in. He's keeping to go. He's keep going.
Yeah, this is
he going to come in now,
pitting,
though?
I think around this.
You would have thought he'd be pitting, but he's not. It doesn't look like it.
Not yet. No, still going.
He's still going.
In the process, though, just losing more time to Dylan behind. So interesting that he's carrying on.
He is losing an awful lot of time, and I've got to say, but then again, you know, it's so difficult when you're in that position.
Yeah.
You can see that guy closing down. You know, is he aware that he's on a hard compound tyre? That's the thing. And if he is there much point? Surely, as you quite rightly say, come in, get a fresh set of boots on, get out there, because he's going to overtake you anyway, no matter what.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, you would have thought so. I mean, if he's got his HUD up, he'll be able to see the car behind and what tyre it's on. So. I'm sure Eke is aware that the car behind's on the hard.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting, because this ultimately is playing very much into Dylan's hands, because as I was saying earlier to Adrian, that was almost a 5-second. I was thinking a 5-second gap that Eke might have before Dylan Platt pits. But I mean, it's just over a second now, and that is going to make all the difference. For Dylan, he's still going to have to push, but he may not necessarily have to push as hard or actually do it on the track. He could rely on his pit stop strategy effectively.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Dan, can I just interject here?
Please do.
I think Eke is actually going for he's going for the soft to medium strategy by the looks of it. He's trying to reach probably lap 17 on those tyres, then do another 17, take him to lap 30. 34, and then just do the last 23 on the mediums, which is
so can we expect him to come in at the end of lap 17 then? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But as you say, he is losing time to Dylan, but I think he's not deliberately losing time, but he's accepting that he's losing time here to save it towards the end.
Right.
Well, it's going to be an interesting call, I've got to say, because obviously Dylan's going to be looking to go a lot deeper on those hard compound tyres and likely to be finishing on either a pair of, well, more likely a set of softs, possibly a set of mediums. So, it's a difficult one. But again, it's what the strategy you set. You don't want to be changing it halfway through a race. You need to stick to your strat, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And what will hurt Eke actually is if Dylan gets into DRS range, which he is now. So if Eke doesn't come in this lap, then Dylan's basically got a free lap, because he'll be able to save his ERS and just use the DRS to maintain his distance to Eke.
Yeah, this is quite a critical part of the race, I feel, and this is going to be play very much towards the end. And Eke coming in now, Dylan Platt will assume the lead of this race, and it's going to be, I want to see that gap when Eke comes out, because I'll tell you now, if that gap is going to be over 18 seconds, I think this is going to play very well into Dylan Platt's hand. I suspect that gap is actually going to be... And he's got onto the hards.
Yeah.
Okay, Ross Milburn crosses the line. He's in P2. Eke coming out of the pits. He will be coming out in P3. So he's looking to go to the end of this race on those hard compound tyres. Risky move, I've got to say. I don't know what your thoughts are. Adrian, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, it looks like he's doing Dylan's strategy in reverse, isn't he? Yeah, I think that's... I think that might be a really good call. I think that's probably better than doing the soft medium, just because of how hard you're going to have to push to make up that 20-second or so deficit that you incur when you do an extra stop. So yeah, I think well, you know, Eke's going to finish at least P3 by the looks of it. Bearing in mind he won't have to come in. So yeah, we'll see what Dylan can do in this sort of second phase of his first stint, and what the gap is to Eke by the end of that.
Well, it's certainly going to be very, very interesting indeed. I was saying I was more interested in the gap between Eke and Dylan Platt, and that is actually, well, 21, it was 22, well, 22 seconds, which is what I thought it might be. I don't know. I think that's pretty much going to seal it, because that's a pit plus. So, and you know, Eke, I can see where he's coming from, but you know, you're going to be on a lighter fuel load, and those hard compound tyres are going to be pretty twitchy towards the end of this race. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. So Eke's in P3, comes out. Ross Milburn is in 2. He's on 18-lap old mediums. Dylan Platt, as we know, leads the way. He's on 18-lap old hard tyres, but we do expect him to go probably to around about lap 40 on those, so only halfway through on those. Phil Harris is on the hard compound tyres as well. He's in P4, and that's really worked very, very well for him, hasn't it? Up 9 places.
Certainly has indeed. Yeah, Phil doing very well. His team, not teammate, but league mate, if you like, Ryan Lear, 14 places up.
Yeah. Oh,
as he gets a bit
as we
slippery,
say that, commentator's curse.
Sorry, Ryan.
He loses it into turn 5. I think, was it turn 5 or turn 6? I think it was actually into turn 5 that he lost it on the exit at turn 5.
That was actually into 7, I think that was.
Yeah, and that took him right down towards 7, where he rejoined the track. But not too bad. It could have been worse. Let's put it like that.
He's only lost 1 place, so
yes, it could have been worse.
Could be much worse, yeah. But yeah, like
as you say,
Harris.
13. Again, that's really worked very well for Ryan, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly has. Very good first stint he's had on him. I think again had a bit of luck with that first lap incident, but after that, just pure pace and racing has got him up to P6. So very good stuff for him.
Good run there from Ryan. And he's up into that P6 position, up 13 places. Up 5 from 13 is Tom. Sorry, from 12. Up 5 from 12 was Tom. SF1 Tom, and he's in that P7 position. Not looking too bad for him. It's going to be interesting. I think I'd expect him, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for him during the course of this race. I think he could possibly move up another 1 or 2 places, but we'll have to see how that actually works out for him. In P8 is SF1 Evil in the Haas. He's only 8/10 off Tom. We have Nicky Visser down in 9. He's dropped 2. Did actually start in P7, got up a bit higher. Now he's dropped back down again, and doesn't seem to be finding his comfortable spot, Nicky, tonight, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting that all at least the 3 drivers in front of him both haven't pitted yet. So, and he's well within their pit windows, so we could see him at least go up 1 place for the start spot. But yeah, I don't think he got on very well with the soft tyres in that opening stint. I don't know if he's like me, but personally I prefer the medium on this track to the softs. So hopefully he'll find a bit more joy in the tyres that match the colour of his car, yellow. So fingers crossed he gets a bit more pace out of those.
Down 2 is Dembrain from 8 to 10, but he has pitted as well. So it's not going to be apparent as yet. He's obviously a pit stop down. He's on the mediums as well. Just slotting in behind Nicky, 1.8 seconds behind him. RL Addict is in P11. Becker is in 12. Sander Hermans is 13. Bruder Goat is in 14. And Bruder still trying to recover from that lap 1 incident, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously gone on a hard tyre, so he's gone for what I would deem at least the right tyre to go on after that first lap trouble there. So hopefully we'll see him back further up the fields towards the end of this Grand Prix, maybe going onto the soft tyre at the end to give it a last final push. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't see the first lap incident, but
he's
unlucky
he's
there for
definitely
both drivers
suffered.
to go back so far.
Davey Hartman just set the fastest lap. He's down 4, started in 11, he's down into 15, but just set the fastest lap. So he's clearly on the move, and he's looking to close down to Bruder Goat. It's only 6/10 off him, and he's closing it down rapidly.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, really close on. So definitely be a battle coming up very shortly between those two. But just going back to that first lap incident, the other badly affected driver there, Harrison, now running P5, and he has stopped. Really nice comeback drive for him so far.
Yeah, looking very, very strong there, Harrison, as you say. He's only down 1. Did start in P4, was involved in that incident with his teammate. And look at this, Davey Hartman does make the move on Bruder Goat as they're coming round 11 into 12, round 13. Good move there, and he took full advantage of that sweep and experience that he's got of that track there, hasn't he?
Certainly did, yeah. Got me to calculate that with work, and Davey Hartman showing he knows what it takes to make it happen down there.
Bruder Goat looking to try and come back at it. May well do on this start-finish straight. He's got the DRS. Let's see if he can come in there. He's certainly going to get alongside him when he gets down to turn 1. Going to be critical, the entry into turn 1 here. Bruder gets ahead. Can Nick Davey cut him? No, he can't out of 2, 3, and Bruder gets back ahead of him.
Yeah, really difficult, complex corners there, 1 and 2, just to get the switch back right.
Davey gets it back.
Davey goes
Round
back,
4.
but I think he might lose it again. No, Bruder's got him behind him.
Contact! Yeah. Contact! Bruder's got into the back of him. Dearie me, that was a bit...
that was a bit clumsy between those two, I think.
Very clumsy.
Not quite sure what happened there, really.
It was definite contact with Bruder going in the back of Davey Hartman, and then it seemed to be that they came together. Ulster Stick picking up a 3-second time penalty. Bruder Goat slowed right down there. I don't know if he's looking to try and give the position back, or I'm not too sure.
Well,
actually, he's got Ryan Lear behind him.
He's lost the majority of this front wing.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? So he's going to be coming into the pits. Can't see what damage Damey's got.
Damey's certainly got a red front right wing there for sure. Definitely red on the right.
Yeah. So
we have got one car actually. We've got a Haas stopped on track. I think that's. It look like a Haas. Who is that? I can't quite tell. There is certainly a car stopped on track. What I'm seeing is set to 1.
The pits. Trying to see where the other Haas is.
Safety car, of course. It's the safety car that's stopped on track.
Okay, so we've got the safety car. And I wonder if that was that collision that we saw between, Bruder Goat picks up a 5-second time penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear. That has just gone from bad to worse. And we see a number of cars in the pits. F1 Tom, Evil, Nicky Visser, Basden Brayan, Arnold Addict, Becker, Sander Hermans, Davey Hartman, Bruder Goat, Sean Street, all into the pits there. So everyone coming in, taking full advantage, and this is going to mix it up. Adrian, this is now going to add a different element to this race, isn't it? With all those people coming in and getting fresh set of boots on.
Well, that's it exactly. That's going to completely throw many of the driving strategies out the window. Particularly with the likes of Eke, who he stretched those soft tyres out early on, pitted for the hards, but now that advantage that he has or had has been
well, he
pretty
has
much
actually
negated.
gone onto a set of mediums, so he has pitted and gone onto a set of mediums. Interestingly enough,
Yeah, but again, so he's going to have to ask those mediums to do 34 laps. That's quite a lot. He'll be doing 3 or 4 of those, or 2 or 3 of those under this safety car. But yeah, that will require some time management. Now, if we look at Dylan Platt, of course, he's. I know I'm a little bit behind you. I think I'm about 30 seconds behind you.
He's actually just come in and onto a set of fresh mediums as well.
So he's on the medium. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's all he could do really, because he's used his surely his only set of hard tyres.
Well, I think it does leave him with a set of softs in the bag.
Yes, and the same for Eke as well. So this is going to be a race between those two to the end. I think it's going to be a race one on track rather than
I don't know,
in the
because
pits
we've
now.
got Phil Harris there. He's only 4 tenths off the back of Dylan Platt. 23 lap old hards. There's every possibility he could still stay in there.
Yep, that's
get onto
possible.
a set of softs.
The big winner here, Eddie, I think, is Ross Milburn, who's
I was just looking at that.
Currently P3. He's on a fresh sort of set of hard tyres.
Yeah.
Now, you know, and he's been able to come in under this safety car within his sort of normal pit stop window. So yeah, this has worked out very well for Ross, because he can quite easily take these tyres to the end, whereas the other drivers ahead of him have got to sort of manage their tyres a bit as well, particularly Eke, who's going to have to overtake 3 drivers if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, this safety car, as always, safety car does mix it up, but what a time for the safety car to happen just before we are reaching the halfway point, and in a quite critical point with regards to pit stops, because a number of drivers had only recently come in for their pit stops. So yeah, this definitely has mixed it up. Now, we won't see the safety car, I suspect, come in until the end of lap 25. We are on lap 24 at this moment in time. It may come in at the end of this lap, but I do not believe it will do so. It should be the end of lap 25. And that's really mixed it up now. We've got a number of drivers going on to the hards. I'll quickly run through those. So we've got Dylan Platt on a fresh set of mediums. We've got Phil Harris on 24 old set of hards. Ross Milburn, fresh set of hards. Eke, fresh set of mediums. Harrison, fresh set of hards. Leah, relatively fresh set of mediums. SF1 Tom, fresh set of mediums. Hards, fresh for Evil. Hard, fresh for Nicky Visser. Hard, fresh for Bast and Brian. Medium, fresh for RL Addict. Becca's gone for the hards. Sada Herman's gone on for the mediums. Bruder Goat's gone for the mediums. Damie Hartman on the hards. Sean Street, Whiffy winner. Ulster Stig all on the hards. And Hans van der Berg has just gone against the grain. He's down in 19. He wants to get through the field. He's gone onto a set of softs.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to assume that everyone that's on the mediums is only on it because that's all they've got available to them, and obviously they didn't want to run on the softs. Perhaps not until the end. Yeah. One other thing as well, before I hand back to Dan, is that it's rather ironic that the safety car that we're seeing here that is, I wouldn't say has ruined Eke's race, but it certainly made it a lot harder for him. That was caused by a teammate of his driving into the back of, was it Damie in the racing point? Yeah,
it was, and that was it? Hang on, who was that? Harrison?
That was Bruder. That was Bruder.
Yeah, it was Bruder. Yeah, and exactly that, and not only that, Bruder's picked up quite a number of penalties, 5 points for speeding in the pit lane, and I think he also got some points out on track as well. Look at this, Dylan really backing the back up here, as he quite rightly do. He's got every right to do that. When is he going to open it up and release the guys? And he's certainly taking some. There he goes, he's off now. 5-second time penalty for a collision with Whiffy winner. Oh no! Ulster Stig collides with one of his teammates there, picks up a 5-second penalty for it, drops down to 18. But Dylan Platt starts the race back off after this safety car session. Lap 26, they're back underway. Harrison has retired. So not too sure what happened with Harrison there. May well have gone off and DNF not too sure, but he's actually retired. Dylan Platt leads the way. Phil Harris is in second. Ross Milburn is third. Eke is fourth. Ryan Lear fifth. SF1 Tom sixth. SF1 Evil seventh. Nicky Visser eighth. Baz Dembrayan 9. RL Addict 10. Becker is 11. 12 Sander Herman. 13 Bruder Goat. 14 Damie Hartman. Sean Street is in 15. 16 Whiffy Winner. Hans van der Berg has jumped up to 17. Ulster Stig is in the pits getting a new nose on 18. And Harrison has gone out. So Dylan is clearly leading the way there. Ross Milburn is in second, but Eke is looking to close down to him. Look at that.
Absolutely, yeah, what a restart from Dylan Platt. 2 seconds already on his teammate. I was wondering if he maybe was going to give away to one of his F1 truck colleagues at the restart there, just given by how far over to the right it was, but no. Made an absolute rocket of a getaway and 2.1 seconds already. Phil Harris, though, unfortunately struggling a bit on those.
Yeah, I think the problem is with that safety car, he just hasn't got the heat into those tyres.
No.
And that's critical. I mean, as long as he stays ahead of Ryan Lear, he should be able to get the heat back by more or less by the end of this lap. Probably takes about a lap and a half, depending on how cold they were. So he should get those back up to temperature, and once he does, he should be okay. Dylan Platt set the divisional fastest time, 31.639. So a good run there from him. But yeah, I mean, I think Phil is still looking strong. Ryan Lear is obviously very close in behind him, only half a second behind him, but he's got SF1 Tom right in close and personal on his tail as well. He's 5/10 behind Ryan Lear, so we can see the gap and the pack have closed down somewhat. Nicky Visser, he's got 1 second between him and Evil, but he's got Baz Dembrayan breathing down his neck at this moment in time. 2/10, 4/10 behind him, but RL Addict is right on the back of Baz Dembrayan as well. So, as expected, safety car restart. Everyone's got up close and personal yet again, and we're probably going to see these guys running really close to one another for the next 4 or 5 laps, and hopefully we'll see some moves as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there isn't a gap of more than a second, Eddie, all the way back from SF1 Evil all the way to Hans van der Berg in 17th. So it's just a train of drivers here looking to make a move.
Van der Berg clearly is going to be looking to try and carve his way through this field going onto those softs. Ulster Stig, interestingly enough, after coming in for that new nose, has also opted for the softs. But I don't know, I don't think Van der Berg's got the power. Oh, and he's going off! Look at that! Oh, dynamic! Loses it as he was coming out of 12 into 13. We were on board for that, and what a collision there. So we are minus 1 SF1, minus 1 F1 tonight, and this VSC has been enabled. So no safety car, but VSC has been enabled. And I've got to say, VSC, I'd rather have a safety car. I hate VSC.
Yeah, I do. Driving under it is the worst.
It's horrendous. It really is.
Sean Street, though, making a stop for a new wing. Just touching on the drivers missing now from both sides. I think SF1 are actually missing 2 now because Verstappen's also gone, don't forget.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, unfortunately for them, they're 2 drivers down after Harrison sadly DNF'd not long ago now. Hans van der Berg too. So both leagues losing drivers at the moment.
Yeah, they certainly have. And we are on lap 28 of 57. That's as close to the halfway mark as you can get. And this is F1 tonight versus SF1. And this is an Interleague Cup one-off race here at the Sakir circuit for the International Circuit of Bahrain. And what a race it has been. We've seen some fantastic strategy from the drivers, some amazing driving, great overtakes, fantastic contact collisions, safety car, VSC. The only thing that's missing is the rain. Don't you think, Dan?
Yeah, I don't think I can predict it at this race, I'm afraid, Eddie.
No, you don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one, mate.
Ryan Lear looking to make the move on Phil Harris down into 1. Sorry, I'm just on board him, and he makes a clean move, gets ahead of Phil Harris. But now SF1 Tom is looking to see if he can have a little peek in there as well, staying behind, doesn't quite manage it. But good run there from Ryan Lear, gets ahead of Phil Harris.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, very good stuff. And SF1 Evil getting ahead of Nicky Visser into one there.
Yep, Evil.
Good move from the Hash driver from SF1.
Nice move there from SF1 Evil, getting ahead of Nicky Visser in the Renault. So he moves up to P7. As I said, we're going to see this. We're going to see a number of the guys moving around, moving up, etc., aren't we?
And Bruder Goat there making a move on Baz Den Brain as well. The medium tyre there seems to be, well, understandably much grippier at the moment than the hards. As it's still in its infancy at the minute.
Yeah, that is it. And again, it is that softer compound versus the harder compound. And that's because they're just so close at this moment in time. So Bruder makes the move and the Brain gets up into P9. His next target is Nicky Visser. He's 7/10 ahead of him. Nicky Visser 5/10 off the back of Evil. Evil does make the move, as we saw earlier, gets ahead of him up into P7. SF1 Tom is in 6. He's 5/10 off the back of Phil Harris. Phil Harris 8/10 off the back of Ryan Lear, who made the move about half a lap ago. Ryan 2.3 seconds down off the back of Ross Milburn, 2.7 seconds off the back of Eke, and Eke 2.2 off the back of Dylan Platt. So still very, very close. 27 laps left to go, and I'm just seeing Phil Harris. I mean, he's got 11 laps potentially left to go. Is he going to go to 40, 41? And if he does, is he going to be able to maintain that place? He's got SF1 Tom really breathing down his neck. We saw Ryan Lear get past Phil. Obviously he's on the mediums, but SF1 Tom's on the mediums as well, so he stands a good chance, but I don't think Phil's going to make it easy for him, is he?
No, certainly won't. But yeah, if you're touching on the end game here for Phil, but by the time that comes around, if these medium runners especially stay out, their tyres are going to be really, really close to, or puncture territory if anything else. The hard runners will be struggling too, but not as bad. So although Phil will lose out quite a bit of time at the moment in the pit stop, there's every opportunity for him to come back at the drivers that are struggling with warm tyres. So still, Phil is definitely in this as it stands.
Just to jump in here as well, as I said earlier on, Ross Milburn, I think, is potentially going to be the race winner here, because he is the only one of that front group who won't have to either come into the pits again or manage his tyres, because he can push those to the end fairly comfortably. Dylan and Eke ahead of him are going to be not only battling each other, but their tyres, even under sort of open, free conditions, they're going to struggle to make them last. So they will certainly be both of them be coming in. So I think Ross Milburn is onto a winner here.
Yeah, I've got to say, I do concur with you with regards to Ross and where his position is. I however feel that we are going to see Dylan Platt pit before the end of this race and go on to a set of softs.
Yes, he will. But he'll have to make up that deficit. Sorry, Dan.
Question is when is he going to come in? And he's going to have to try and get an undercut on Eke, or because at the moment, to coin that wonderful phrase of yours, Adrian, it really is a 200-mile-an-hour game of chess, certainly between Eke and Dylan Platt as it stands at this moment in time. And it's really a question of who goes in first and who's going to go for the undercut and who's then is going to be forced to try and do an overcut.
That's right, yeah, and it's quite strange, isn't it? Both those drivers there, Dylan and Eke, were opting for one set of hards and one set of soft tyres as their chosen strategy choice. But here they are both racing each other on track in using the medium tyre, thanks to the safety car that we saw brought out on lap 23.
Yeah. We've got 25 laps remaining. So 33, 34 laps for either driver on those mediums. You said that the mediums would go to sort of what we expecting, sort of low,
24,
high 20s.
28. 24 to 28 was the normal window for those.
So they are definitely going to be stretching those tyres and going to be open to potential issues. So I think both those guys are going to have to pit and go on to the softs. The question then comes is how much of a gap are they going to get between them and Ross Milburn in order to make that work? And now I'm starting to look at what you're saying, Adrian, and I mean, Ross really needs to try and, as much as he possibly can, stay with those guys. I mean, I think he can afford to go to probably 10 seconds behind Eke as a safety margin, but anything over that, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously, with Dylan ahead of Eke, Dylan can control Eke's pace slightly and just make it make it slightly easier for Ross to actually maintain the or not fall back as far as he would normally if Eke had sort of free air in front of him. Incidentally, the points, live points as they are at the moment. F1 Tonight is ahead 118 to 88 with the drivers in the positions they are right now.
Okay, so we've reached the halfway mark. Remember when we started with the grid that we had, 112 to 100 in SF1's favour, and we are now, can you give me those numbers again, Adrian?
Yes, 118 to F1 Tonight and 88 to SF1.
Somewhat of a change at that halfway mark, or just past the halfway mark. On board at the moment with Ryan Leah, and he is really getting up close and personal with SF1 Tom, but equally SF1 Tom is still riding on the tail of Phil Harris, and I think it's a great measure of both drivers because Phil Harris is under extreme pressure, has been for a number of laps there, but maintaining his momentum and his line, a little bit of a lock-up as he came round line there, but SF1 Tom the same. And SF1 Tom just keeping that gap respectable, but looking for, you know, the first opportunity there. There's a real fight going on here for this P4 position at this moment. What are your thoughts on that, Dan?
Well, yeah, like you say, so close. These two drivers, or three drivers in fact, have been at each other's throats now for it's about 10 laps, isn't it? Since the safety car really went in. They've just been going at it, you know, tooth and nail really. No driver giving in. Ryan and SF1 I think have maybe gone swap places once or twice. Phil staying fairly safe up at the front, leading this kind of little pack of three drivers.
What a great
at the
job.
moment.
I mean, 33-year-old hard compound
as a
tyres.
SF1. Well, yeah, I looked like SF1 Tom was going to have a little look there, but didn't quite get close enough to make the move.
Phil's just defending that line so well. I mean, he really is. He's making that car as wide as he possibly can, and really, he's setting a good pace, but also defending his line very confidently.
Yeah, indeed, and credit where credit's due. That's on 33-lap-old hards versus their mediums that are fairly fresh in comparison. So, fair play to Phil for sort of having that defence.
Absolutely. I think he's doing a great job there. As you rightly say, I mean, there's a real fight there for 4 and 5 between those three drivers at this moment in time. A bit of a gap then as we drop down to P12. P12, that's Whiffy winner, 6/10 off the back of Baslin Brain. Damie Hartman is only 4/10 off him. Damie obviously coming out on the rough side of that contact that he had earlier on with Brew to Goat, but still out there. Becker, he's in 14. Sean Street is 15. Ulster Stig in the Alpha is 16. And SF1 Evil in the Haas is in 17, teammate to Eke. Dylan Platt still leads the way. And RL Addict picks up a 3-second time penalty, exceeding track limits there. So Dylan Platt leads the way. Eke for SF1 is in second, 1.7 seconds off the back. And we have Ross Milburn, as we were discussing, in that P3 position, 8 seconds off the back of Eke. Phil Harris still in 4, still under pressure, and real pressure from SF1 Tom as they're coming round 1 there, riding hard the curbs there. SF1 Tom, round 1 and 2, trying to see if he can get any sort of look or peak there, isn't he? He's just trying to desperately see if he can get past Phil.
Certainly is, yeah. Fair play to the try. I think this battle's going to go on right until Phil pits, to be honest. If not, if SF1 can get past him before then.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's got the tyres to do it, and he doesn't seem to quite have the pace. I mean, Phil's acceleration there out of that corner was Pretty if not, watch him out again out of 9 there. And look at that,
F1
Tom going really
deep there.
wide. He just doesn't seem to have the confidence. Maybe it's because he's riding the dirty air there as well, as they were coming round turn 9 there. But yeah, he just doesn't seem to have the same pace. And Phil going very wide there, out of 12.
I think intentionally there through 12 just to get the entry.
He did, didn't he?
Right, you see a lot of drivers here riding the curves a bit more than you would at other, or actually to be fair, all the tracks to maximise the lap time. You are riding the curves quite a lot just to get that entry speed higher than you would if you would stay completely on the track.
And getting the right angle, trying to make that angle as flat as possible, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
So SF1 Tom, we are on board at this moment in time, and he is closing down now to Phil at the end of this stretch. But look at this, Phil just maintains that line there, keeps that line, defends it solidly, and he's just doing his own thing. It's almost like he's, well, not ignoring, but you know, just not really worrying too much about SF1 Tom behind him.
Indeed, yeah. I think we did just see an issue for Ryan Lear there. I'm not quite sure what that was. We did have a yellow flag wave there in sector 1, and noticing Ryan's dropped off the back of SF1 Tom.
He has. He's 2.6 seconds behind. I wonder if he's spun off. He's definitely got. Has he got? No.
He wasn't happy through a couple of these corners just there. So I'm not. Wing-wise, looks okay.
He was half a second behind about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's right. Now he's 3.1 seconds behind. Bruder Goat's now closing down on him. So Bruder Goat in 7 is now within visual distance of Ryan Lear, so you can see the target ahead of him. And Ryan, not too sure what's happened there. He seemed to get a bit wobbly.
Further back though, Whiffy Winners made the pass on Baz Den Blay, and he was behind the 12 or so driver there for a little while. But made the move work, and is now P11 going after Zander Hermans in the Williams in P10.
So Whiffy Winner gets past Baz Den Blay, and now looking to zone in on Zander Hermans ahead of him. I'm sure Baz is going to try and see if he can come back on that, but they're on equally, well, same tyres, 13 lap old hards, as is Davey Hartman and Becker, so 11 to 14, all on the same tyre, all pitted in obviously on that safety car. So it's going to see 20 laps now remaining of this F1 Tonight SF1 Challenge race here at the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir. And yes, what a race it has been. We promised it was going to be a good one, and I've got to say, so far it's delivered, hasn't it, Dan?
I think it certainly has. Yeah, it's been a race full of battles non-stop. I don't think there's been a point really when the grid spread out far enough for it to be boring. No. It's been non-stop. It's been really, really good.
It's been a fantastic race, and great to see the competition here between the leagues, and Den Brayan letting Davey Hartman through. So that's interesting. He's just moved aside and let Davey Hartman through. And Davey clearly looking to try and see if he can now challenge Whiffy Winner and get ahead of him.
I think that's just part of the team game really putting up on tonight, guys. I think Baz knows that Davey might have a bit more pace in his
see if he can get the points. It's all about the cumulative points, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. It's a team game.
So we'll see what happens there. Let's get back up quickly to the top and see where we are. And look at that. That gap is exactly, well, it was exactly the same. 1.186. It's now 1.1. But you know, it's still so close.
He's got past Phil Harris.
He has. SF1 Tom. Yeah, just seen that. He's moved up into P4. He has now got past Phil Harris, and well, it's taken him some time. I think Phil is still looking pretty solid at this moment in time. Phil looking as if he's going to try and come back, but SF1 Tom does move up into that P4 position. Ross Milburn, now, I was saying 10 seconds would be comfortable. He's now rapidly approaching 12 seconds. This is still going to be very, very tight. 15 laps on Eke, 14 laps on Dylan Platt. So they've got at least 10 laps left on those. They've got 19 laps remaining. If you were Dylan Platt, when would you be looking to come in and go onto those softs, do you think, Adrian?
I would say, I'm just loading into the into the lobby, so I can't quite see at the moment.
Well, Dylan's on 14 lap old mediums.
Yes.
and we've got 18 laps to go.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I think any time within the next sort of 5 laps or so, he won't need to push these mediums too far, and similarly you want to get onto the soft tyre pretty much as early as he can. He won't gain anything from,
do you think he really wants to get the undercut on Eke? Or
yes.
Do you think he's not too worried about it?
No, I think the undercut on Eke is important, and yeah, I think the earlier he pits, the better it will be.
15 laps is what we would say you could go. Comfortable, I would say 12 laps is what you want to go. So on that basis, I'd expect another 6 laps potentially out of Dylan Platt come in probably at the end. I don't know actually, just trying to have a look at this actually. The end of lap 41, 42.
Yeah.
So that's potentially what we're looking at. Equally, Eke can do the same. Now, if Eke comes in before him, what's Dylan going to have to do? It's basically pedal to the metal and try and get round to that pit stop, that pit as quick as he can.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be too much of an issue if Eke does come in a lap before Dylan, with Dylan being ahead at the moment.
8 tenths is the gap now, though, between them.
Yeah, Eke will probably want to stay with Dylan just for that sort of free energy, that DRS.
And Eke setting the fastest provisional lap there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a fight going on. Of course, they could both come in at the same time.
They could indeed, and then it will be a race to the end. And I think that may be what we're likely to see. I just want to point out as well, there's not even one warning between the 2 drivers so far.
Fantastic. Absolutely flawless race there between Dylan Platt and Eke, both drivers. Phenomenal race. Ross Milburn equally great race from him. Phil Harris as well, and he's got back ahead of SF1 Tom while we were having that little conflab there. Phil Harris has got back ahead of SF1 Tom. Now that's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good going there. SF1 Tom is still having a go at Phil.
Oh, very much so.
Phil hasn't pitted yet, has he? No, he's still on his original strategy, still going for the hard, light lead onto the soft tyre. I think he may even be the only driver that's still on his A plan.
I think you can be pretty confident that he is. To be fair, I think the only other one that might be is. No, not even Zander Hermans. No, I think you're right. I think he's the man that is still sticking to the plan. So that is something. Even Baz de Bruijn, I know that he's altered on his plan, obviously with that safety car that we had. So yeah, I think you're pretty much right there. And this is really going to be something because it is important for Phil, even though he's on the hards, to keep Tom behind him, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. He'll want to sort of hold him there as long as he can. He will inevitably have to pit, of course. But Tom's got to do another 16 laps on those tyres. They've already done 18. So, yeah, come the end of the race, that is going to be Phil's time to regain that position.
SF1 Tom takes the place back round 1, but Phil close in behind him round 2. But SF1 seals it out of 2 into 3 and gets back ahead of Phil. So yeah, this is very, very interesting indeed. We're on lap 41 of 57. Sorry, Adrian, you were going to say?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just going to say, in the background there, RO Addict has just got past Nicky Visser. Visser about to make or try to retake the position, but fails to do so.
Yeah, and Davey Hartman just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. And that is going to help him. He's got Baz de Bruijn 6 tenths off the back of him at this moment in time. And Davey Hartman is really closing in on Whiffy winner. Remember that, was it Den Bruijn? Yeah, let him through to see if he could go on the attack on that Whiffy winner. He has closed down to him, but it's also given Den Bruijn the opportunity to close down. And he's really nose to tail now. Sander Hermans just ahead. Davey Hartman, though, coming down to 11. Is he looking to try and make a move round 11 and 12 on Whiffy winner? Very, very tight between these guys here for this P11 position. everyone still maintaining their place there, but one to keep an eye on. And
Phil Harris in the pit.
Oh, yeah. Phil Harris into the pits, onto a set of softs.
As expected.
15 laps, bang on to go. So he's onto those softs, and he'll be coming out in P13.
Safety car. Like Adrian said, he was the only one out there to stick to his individual strategy, not pit at all under the safety car conditions.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was hoping for another one.
It could have helped him, but I think ultimately he did the right thing. I mean, I think he had to make a call when that safety car came out, and I've got to say, I think he's made the right call. We're still going to see some of these guys likely to be coming in 15 laps. We won't see them Brown, we won't see Damie Hartman coming in, but Phil's got every opportunity to get past them. We won't see Whiffy Winner coming in. Xander Hermans, he will come in, don't know. Nicky Visser, don't think he'll be coming in. RL Addict, probably. Ryan Lear. I don't know, it's so difficult to tell. So, you know, we've got 14 laps remaining. I mean, these guys could push those mediums that little bit more, but it could be hard. And, you know, it's really what we're saying. Everyone that's on those mediums is in pretty much the same boat as Eke and Dylan Platt. They should come in for a set of softs, but they could risk it and stay out. It really does depend.
Yeah, meanwhile,
5 tenths between the two of them now, so really closing up as Eke's gone fastest in the first sector as well.
Yeah, and it is.
Dylan getting a bit out of shape there, out of turn 8. Dylan looking a bit sideways.
Yeah, he did actually. Sorry, I missed that, but I was just thought it was somebody else. And look at this, Eke's now 3 tenths off the back of him. He's starting to feel the pressure. Dylan is actually on the slightly younger set of tyres.
Xander Hermans is coming, by the way. He's now on the soft tyres as well, so he was running on the medium tyres.
Running on mediums, yeah. I think the likelihood is we are going to see those medium guys come in and go on to the softs. But those guys that are on the hards, they could potentially go to the end of this race. So we're on board with Eke. Now Dylan's coming in. No, he's not. He was feigning it. What a shout. Dylan was feigning it, trying to see if you could get trying to get Eke to go in. So that suggests to me he wants to go for an overcut. Interesting, but still, okay. I think Dylan's just trying to throw Eke off as much as he can, isn't he? He's pulling everything out of the bag here to try and put off Eke from SF1 to get him off his tail, basically.
Yeah, and obviously with Eke behind Dylan, Eke's tyres will be wearing out slightly faster than Dylan's are, which I think Dylan is probably trying to exacerbate slightly by holding him there. Dylan may even be trying to...
Phil Harris, sorry, setting the fastest lap, 129.8.
Yeah, that's expected. That's pretty much expected at this stage on those soft tyres. But yeah, I think Dylan may be, who's another 7.7 seconds behind him. So in theory, Dylan is a free pit stop ahead. So all he's got to do is beat Eke either on track or via the pits. We'll see what Dylan does here.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Dylan is coming in. No, he's staying out. Oh, he's feigned it again. Wow. He really...
Mind games, isn't it?
It is major mind games, I've got to say. Very impressive from Dylan Platt there, I've got to say. So Dylan Platt is really trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink at Eke, trying to wrong foot him and get him off his tail, but Eke is hanging on in there. Great race between these two drivers. And Ross Milburn, in the meantime, 18 seconds, 18.3 seconds behind the both of them. I'll tell you what, I think these guys are going to come in, but Ross Milburn could well be ahead of them, and they're going to have to try and get past him, and that's going to be very interesting if that's the case.
It's going to be close as well, because I mean 18.5 seconds isn't far off the pit stop lane. So
exactly
if these guys do pit, they're going to come out more or less behind Ross,
exactly,
if not alongside him. So
and that's what I'm thinking. I mean, they really need to try and pit and get out ahead of him. But I don't know, it's really going to mix it up. We've got 12 laps remaining. Lap 45 of 57. This is F1 Tonight versus SF1. The Challenge Cup between the leagues, and great competition, great driving from the SF1 guys and the F1 Tonight guys. We've seen, you know, a few little incidents, but that's only to be expected at any race. But what a race it has been. Thrills, spills, and so much more. Strategy coming in, strategy going out the window for a number of drivers with that safety car. Then we had the VSC, and now we're in the closing stages with only 11 laps remaining. Who will break first? Will Dylan Platt go in first? Will Eke follow him? Will he stay out? What's going to happen? They're going to go onto the softs. Are they going to go onto the softs? Will they stay on the mediums? Will the hard drivers come in or go or not? Or will the medium drivers that are out there come in and go onto softs as well? It's all to play for, isn't it, Dan?
Certainly is, yeah. Just looking further back down the grid, actually, to Phil Harris. He came out P13, I think. He's already back up to P8 on those soft tyres. Absolutely flying at the moment. And like you say, if these medium runners opt to pit, it can really bring Phil back into this race.
Well, I think if the medium runners opt to pit, it could put him probably up around about SF1 Tom or thereabouts. It's going to be interesting, but it's all to play for. And anything can happen, as we know. So let's quickly run through the drivers as they are in reverse order. So 17, we have Ulster Stig for SF1 in that Alfa Romeo. In 16, we have Sean Street for F1 Tonight. In 15, we have SF1 Evil for, well, I guess he's for SF1,
Dylan's
isn't he?
Dylan's in, sorry.
Dylan's in. So Dylan has come in. Let's have a quick look at this now. Eke obviously leads the race. Dylan coming out on that set of softs. Ross Milburn is coming down now, down the straight. Dylan Platt, will he get out ahead of him? No, he won't. No, he won't. So, Ross Milburn is ahead of Dylan Platt. And now Eke is coming round sector 2. Down into turn 8, round 9, coming down to 10. So Dylan needs to get past Ross Milburn really as fast as he possibly can, doesn't he?
I think this is actually going to help Dylan being behind Ross because Ross will undoubtedly not move aside, but he'll want to tow him along as far as he can, give him DRS, and then sort of and then just let him continue the fight with Eke ahead. So I think it's actually benefited him to be behind Ross and get this DRS.
I think you're making an assumption there. I don't think that Ross Milburn is just going to move aside for Dylan. Not when he's in this position.
Well, as you alluded to earlier on, this is a team game, and there we go, Ross Milburn.
Yeah, he does.
Pulled aside.
All right, okay, I'll give you that one. All right.
They're all on the same wavelength. Certainly the F1 Tonight drivers, and I'm sure the same is true of SF1 as well, working together.
That's true. Eke is now coming down towards the penultimate turn, and this is going to be the one that counts.
I don't think Eke will pit now.
Oh, sorry, he's not on the penultimate turn. Sorry, I don't think he will pit, actually. He's actually stayed
20
out.
seconds ahead.
He stayed out,
if you think
sorry.
About it. He's got 9 laps to lose that.
I was about to say, he has stayed out. I think you're right. I think he's decided to stay out on those medium compound tyres, and that is one scenario that we, didn't really account for, but is it a risky scenario? Adrian, what do you think?
Well, Eke's lap time on that last lap, he's the second fastest driver on the track, and there are plenty of soft runners out there at the moment. So yeah, I think he was absolutely right to stay out, given that his tyres are actually not that bad.
So Eke staying out. Is he taking a risk though, Dan? What do you think? Is it risky? He's got 9 laps remaining. He's got 25 laps on those mediums. He's going to be going to 34 to the end of this race. Is it just a step too far? A risk too many?
no doubt it's ballsy, and that's a lot of laps to put on those mediums, but I think with the gap he's got, that kind of buffer area he's got to Dylan behind, I think it is risky, you're right, but I think he's got the pace, like as you said, the second fastest car out there right now, and that's no doubt really going to become slower as we go on here, but I think he's made the right call.
Dylan Platt just gained 2.2 seconds on Eke that lap.
So 2.2 seconds. We are looking at 8 laps remaining. That would suggest to me around about 18 seconds, which means that Dylan Platt will be riding the tails of Eke on lap 56 at this rate.
Yeah, that sounds about right, but yeah, as Dan just said, he'll have to keep doing that for all that time.
And then soft tyres by then will be 10 laps old.
It's going to be, I mean, this is an all-out race, basically. Let's not put too fine a point on it. It is a race, but this really is a race, isn't it?
It's interesting as well that Eke has deliberately chosen a different option to what Dylan has chosen, yeah. And he had to do that really to give himself a chance of winning this race. I think if he just copied what Dylan did, I think it'd just be following Dylan until the checkered flag. So yeah, for him to make that call to stay out and risk it, I think that is ballsy, but I think it's the right call to do in that situation. It's the only way that he is going to win this race.
I've got to say, I think you're absolutely right. Ross Milburn is in that 3rd place, and he's got Brooder Goats 9 seconds off the back of him on 26 slap-old mediums. SF1 Tom making the move on his teammate as they come down to turn 1, makes it clean, gets up into that P4 position, but he's in the same boat as well. Are they going to be able to close down that gap to Ross Milburn, either one of those guys, with only 7 laps remaining?
Well, I don't know. It's a big ask time-wise. I'm sure it'll come down, no doubt, but at this point, the hard is probably a bit quicker than those mediums.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
I was going to touch on, though, Eddie, Brudigo, obviously like his teammate Harrison, he's come back from the Ashes too, because he's P5.
Yeah.
And not long ago, he's down the back of the field, so the McLaren boys of SF1 certainly know how to bring it back up to the front.
And Phil Harris as well. I mean, look at Phil Harris, he's up to P6.
He's back here as well. Yeah.
So, and we were saying, it all depends on those medium guys. We're saying if they come in, that's going to put Phil Harris around about P4. And that's exactly what would happen if either Brooder, or if Brooder and SF1 decide to come in with 6 laps remaining. Unlikely, but if they do, it's going to put him up into P4. So he's looking in a strong position there, Tom. Sorry, Phil. Yeah,
he certainly is. Yeah, I doubt at this point that those guys will pit.
I doubt it as well.
Such few laps left to go.
Dylan Platt setting the fastest lap, 1:29.1.
Yeah,
but he is
2.4.
still 15 seconds off the back with 6 laps remaining. He isn't going to close down that gap.
2.4 gained on that lap, 1.2 gained on the previous lap. Obviously, he's on a bit of a cool down.
Yeah. He's just, no matter which way you paint it, he's just not going to make it in 6 laps. He's not going to close down that gap to be able to close down to Eke, and I think Eke was an inspired decision to stay out there. We weren't calling it, we were expecting him to come in, but he's made the right call.
Yeah, no, he's done very well. Yeah, it was a big risk to try and push the medium tyres as far as he has, but yeah, his times aren't really dropping. He's about a second down on his best time on that lap, but that's, there are only 6.5 laps to actually go to the end of this race, and he's got Dylan 13.5 behind him. So yeah, no, very well done. Very, as you say, inspired choice. Although it's not over. Well,
I was about to say, we've got 5 laps remaining. Eke coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to be starting the 52nd lap now. He's got 5 laps remaining. What is the issue? I mean, we expect these tyres, the mediums, 24 to 28 laps. He's now on 29 laps. He's going to be on 34 laps if he goes to the end of this race. What are the potential issues? What are the risks that he's running with pushing those tyres? Adrian?
Well, they will eventually just disintegrate once you go sort of beyond 70% wear or so. Yeah, you end up in so-called puncture territory. Although you can technically get puncture at any point in a race, but the risk increases dramatically at that sort of wear. Not only that, even if he doesn't get a puncture, the grip levels really do fall off a cliff beyond sort of 75%. You can find yourself just a second or a second and a half slower than your maximum pace. And then the following, 5 laps later, you're something like 4 seconds off of your maximum pace. And that's purely because of the lack of grip.
So he is running a risk. Dylan Platt has closed that gap down. It's now under 12 seconds. Ross Milburn, 10 seconds off the back of him. Brew de Goat is up into 4th place. So he has taken that place from SF1 Tom. SF1 Tom drops down to 5th. Phil Harris is in 6th. Nicky Visser is in 7. RRL Addict is in 8. Whiffy Winner is in 9. Baz Dembrain is in 10. Ryan Lear 11. Sander Hermans 12. Davey Hartman 13. Becker 14, SF1 Evil 15, Sean Street is 16, and Ulster Stig is 17. Yellow flag just being waved there. I think it was probably somebody just going a little bit offline. Eke stays in the lead. Dylan Platt is 11.6 seconds off the back of him. 4 laps remaining. Whiffy Winner picks up a 3-second time penalty. This is close, but look at that. Ross Milburn, he is looking, I've got to say, he's looking pretty safe for that 3rd place on the podium, isn't he?
Yeah, fantastic drive from Ross. As I said earlier on, he was a potential winner of this race with that safety car coming out. But the pace of the 2 drivers ahead of him, unfortunately for him, has left him P3 rather than P1. But yeah, still absolutely fantastic drive from Ross.
Indeed, a great drive. He's moved up 3 places, started in P6. Down 1 to 4 is Brew de Goat, started in 3. Up 7 is SF1 Tom, started in 12. Up 7, Phil Harris, who started in 13. Then we have Nicky Visser, he stayed where he was in 7. Up 1 is Whiffy Winner from 9. RL Addict is down 4 from 5. Bags Then Brian is down 2 from 8. Ryan Lear is up 8 from 19. Zander Hermans up 3 from 15. Is that 1 or 2, 3? Let's see that. 1, 3. Damie Hartman to 13. Becker down 4. Yeah. Becker down 4 from 10 to 14. Sean Street up 3 from 18. SF1 Evil down 2 from 14. And Ulster Stig up 3 from 20. Okay, so we see where these guys are at this moment in time. We're coming towards the end of this race. Gentlemen, I need you to start thinking about your driver of the day.
We mustn't be biased.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. So, have a little think on that, gentlemen. We will come back to that shortly. I'll probably only give you about a lap to think about it. So, Dylan Platt has brought that gap down. It's now 9 seconds. There are 3 laps remaining. 8.9 seconds. Dan, is he going to do it? Can he do it with 3 laps remaining? Can he make that gap up? 8.6 seconds.
No.
Right.
Sorry,
Adrian.
Dylan,
No, please, that's fine. Adrian, what do you think?
Yes.
Can he? Yes, no?
I'd love to be able to say yes, but I think it's just too much even for someone as skilled as Dylan. Eke's just made it just a perfect strategy call after the issue with the safety car coming out, ruining his race effectively, or not, as it would seem, because he's made a call last minute to stay out on the mediums and then push them to the end.
Well, I've got to say, I concur with both of you. I don't think Dylan will be able to do it. 2 laps now remaining. 8 seconds is the gap. Barring incident, I can't see it happening, but anything can happen. as we know, and it probably will. I'm not going to say anything. I've had things change even like as people cross the finish line, which have been unexpected. So I'm staying out of this one. But Eke leads the way, and what a fantastic race he has had. Dylan Platt is in second. Looks like he's going to be taking that second place for F1 tonight. Ross Milburn looking solid for that third place. Brew to go has moved up into 4, but he has picked up a number of penalties, and I've got a sneaking suspicion that the penalties he's picked up could well push him down to 5. I don't think they'll push him to 6, but I think they'll push him down to 5, and that's F1 up to 4.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
Yeah.
Driver of the day, Dan? Check the score.
Okay.
Yes. That was going to be my my vote as well. Eke 00 driver of the day for me and for Dan.
Yeah, I've got to say, I hardly concur. Certainly with the fantastic qualifying times he's putting in, the race that he's put in, absolutely great. So yeah, I've got to agree with you. We'll wait obviously till the end because anything can happen. Only one lap remaining, but Eke looks like he will be our driver of the day. Dylan Platt has closed that gap down. It's now 6.3 seconds, but the final 2 laps still remaining. Ross Milburn stays in that third. Brew to Goat 4. SF1 Tom looks solid for 5. Phil Harris 6. Nicky Visser, well, SF1 Tom looks solid for 4 actually. Brew to Goat will be 5. Nicky Visser 7. Whiffy Winner 8. Ryan Lear 9. Basden Braham 10. RL Addict 11. 12. Zander Hermans 13. Damie Hartman. Becker is 14. 15. Sean Street 16. Ulster Stig. SF1 Evil brings up the rear in 17. We ride on board with Eke at this moment in time, as he's just coming around town 13, down that long stretch to the penultimate turn of 14, getting ready to start his final lap. We will stay on board with him for that final lap. And there he goes. And it has been a fantastic race and a great competition. Somebody coming out ahead of him actually. Just out of the pits, can't see who that is.
It's RL Addict, he's just come in.
Oh, okay.
He's actually dropped a couple of points then for SF1, because every position does score points here.
Oh dear, yeah. So he's come in, gone onto the softs. Maybe he thinks he's going to be able to put in a blistering time and set the fastest lap. I don't know, we've got any points for fastest lap, Adrian?
Yes, 1 point for fastest lap.
Okay, so I know that Adrian Stats Rich has got everything ready to go to give us the results as soon as we have the conclusion of this race. 3-second time penalty for SF1 Evil. Ooh, well, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference ultimately to the scores. Everyone will score a point, will they not, Adrian?
That's correct, all the way down to 17.
So everyone will score a point, so all the points do count. They will be in ascending order. Eke coming round into the third and final sector as he comes up and round turn 13 now. Only 2 more corners to go, and Dylan Platt can see him ahead of him, but 2.5 seconds is the gap that he's got. Eke will cross the line and take the win here for this SF1 F1 Tonight Challenge Cup. Eke crosses the line for SF1 and takes the win. Second place is Dylan Platt as he crosses the line, and third place goes to Ross Milburn. So what a fantastic race that has been. We will see some changes on that board as they cross the line due to a number of drivers accumulating some penalty points. I've got to say it's fairly limited, but they did accumulate a few. Becker 313 finishes 14, Sean Street 15, Ulster Stig 16, 17 is SF1 Evil. Brew to Goat crosses the line and he drops down to 5. Phil Harris takes P4. What a fantastic result. Phil Harris takes P4, Bruder Goat takes P5, Nicky Visser takes P6, and I said we were going to see some changes on that board, and we have seen. SF1 Tom drops down to P7, and that's all down to the points. Baz and Brian is P8, Ryan Lear 9, Whiffy Winner 10. Sorry, Whiffy Winner is 11, Xander Hermans finishes 10. Davey Hartman still to cross the line. He does finish 12. RRL Addict to cross the line. He's just coming round the penultimate corner now. And I believe he should be finishing 13 or might be 14. We will see. Yep, I think he actually finished 15.
I have the final score.
13, sorry, 13. Okay, fantastic. So, yes indeed, may we have the scores on the doors. Stats Rich!
Dylan Platt did get the fastest lap, so he gets the extra point. In fact, he scored all the extra points today, didn't he? He got 2 for his pole position and 1 for the fastest lap there. And then with all the other points for the drivers all totted up, it is, I'm pleased to say, a win for F1 tonight. We've scored 123 points versus SF1's 84. But yeah, a valiant effort from those guys at Simulation Formula One.
Absolutely, Simulation Formula One. Got to say, great race. It was so very close, and the result could have been so very different. But what a fantastic first Challenge Cup, and a big shout out to all the Xbox Formula One leagues there, and anyone that's interested in doing 100% races, do speak to ourselves here at F1 Tonight, or indeed to the SF1 guys. And that's Kyle Rhodes. Kyle Rhodes, that's right, isn't it?
Kyle Rhodes, yeah. SF1 Rhodes is
SF1 Rhodes. He's the man to speak to. We hope you have enjoyed it. We certainly have. So just to give you a quick run over the end results for this Challenge Cup between F1 Tonight and SF1. 123 points to F1 Tonight, SF1 84 points. Driver of the day goes to Eke 00 from SF1, and the winner of the race was Eke 00 SF1. Dylan Platt for F1 Tonight coming second, and Ross Milburn for F1 Tonight coming third. We hope you have enjoyed this. We certainly have, and I think we could be up for some future events, gentlemen. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'll be very much up for that. I think after that showing, yeah, very exciting race.
What are your
great
thoughts?
Drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Very pleased with how the event went, and I think we look forward to doing more cross-league events or Challenge Cups in the future. Yes,
indeed. Well, all that leaves me to say is a big thank you to Kyle Rhodes and the SF1 drivers. Great congratulations to Eke for the win and for driver of the day. Great to see this sort of competition happening, and we hope that you go from success to success. Also, a big shout out to obviously the F1 Tonight guys. Great contribution, great result, and I'm sure they're going to be more than happy with that result. Fantastic job from all the drivers, all the teams, and also from the commentary team. I've got to say, I haven't been about for a while. It has been interesting. My throat is somewhat sore now, as to be expected. The chaos preceding the race, to be expected, but it all worked out in the end, and a big thank you to Dan Hazzah Burt and Adrian Stats Rich for the fantastic work they've been doing on the broadcasts whilst I have been absent. Also, a big shout out to Sil DeVitt, who's been generously covering the F1 Tonight UK races, and also to all the participants, members and crew of the broadcast team. It just leaves me to say thank you and good night from me, gentlemen.
But it's also a thank you very much to everybody for tuning in tonight and racing. I just echo what Eddie said, and as always, it's a huzzah from me.
Yeah, and likewise, just to reiterate what you two gentlemen have said, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on the broadcast team with both of you, particularly you, Eddie. I've missed doing our regular broadcast, so yeah, it's been very much enjoyable, as it always is. And thanks to everyone who participated. It's good night from me as well.
Good night, everyone. Take care.